my God. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicholas Poitras. Welcome back to the FJ Endurance channel. And today, we are racing at VIR for the IMSA Michelin GT Challenge. Man, oh man, I'm so happy to be back on the mic doing this once again. This is going to be an absolute banger of a race. I cannot wait for this to go under. I would love they get a proper live timer, but I guess the VIR live timer thing doesn't want to work and it just wants to show local time. So it's 12:07 local time as we're about to get going here for our only GT3 only race of the year, which is so goddamn awesome. You guys are probably wondering as well where a specific Jonah is. Jonah's not here, and sadly unable to make it for this weekend, which is a big shame, but I'm totally okay with taking them out. It's great to see everyone in chat. Hi, young Carlo Gonzalez. Good to see that you're in the chat. Everyone, if you're here willing to watch and come on, check out here, please get into the live chat. I'll be following that throughout the most of this race. But man, oh man, we got 2 hours and 40 minutes here at VIR, and it's looking so awesome. Let's go over. No way we already have a problem. No way Max Esterson has a problem already. In the number 59 RL Mclaren, he is stopped in the twisty section on the back straight. His car's come to a complete stop. Oh no, he's gotten himself going again, so he's back up and running. But that is bad for the man who's on the second row. But let's go over the qualifying order. In both GTD Pro and GTD, teams that are leaving the championship at the end of this year are on pole. In GTD Pro, it's Andrea Caldarelli and Pfaff Motorsports with the Lamborghini Temerario. They're up on pole. And man, oh man, that car's looking really fast and it's looking to get its second win of the year. Joining him on the front row is going to be the number... Is it number 3? No, it's the number 4. Our championship leader, Nicky Katzberg in the Corvette. Holding on right now for that lead. Joining him on row number 2 in third position is another car fighting for the championship, and that's the Overhagen in the 3. It's supposed to be Max Esterson. There he is. He's coming up finally to get to the end. The safety car lights are off, which means we will be going. Great qualifying as well for Valentin Hasek-Klot in the Aston Martin, looking really, really fast there. In GTD, it is Dragon Speed at the top of the timing sheets, Windward right alongside them. But man, we're about to get started here at VIR. McLaren is having some issues, but that doesn't matter. We're about to get the safety car in. We got a Lamborghini that will be on the inside into turn 1, a Corvette on the outside. Can Pfaff hold on to the lead here? We're about to find out. Can McLaren maybe try and get back into this fight after already having some issues? But we're gone around the last corner. The Mustang safety car peels into the pits, and we're about to go green. Who's going to be the one to lead us into turn 1? We're about to find out right about, drum roll now. The green flag goes, and it's a great start from Andrea Caldarelli up in front. Up the inside goes the Paul Miller racing car. He's going to try to move in the second immediately, which is big for the championship. Rexy in the background also trying to make some moves up. Up the inside goes the Paul Miller BMW. He's going to take second immediately away from the number 4 Corvette. Up the inside, 3 wide between Esterson and the 59 Hasek-Klot in the Aston Martin and the 65 Mustang, who's sitting up the inside. What a move to move up in the third. Paul Miller got moved out wide by the number 4 Corvette, and now has made up some positions. Look at the Turner Motorsport GTD in the background, getting some good action, but all clean so far as we make our way through the first set of corners. It's incredibly tight. Bit of carbon fiber getting set off the track. AO also going wide. Man, oh man, this is quite contentious here at the start of this race, but it's all clean so far for our front runners. But in the back, it's the number 16 Riley Autosports Mustang who's gone wide, and I think... No, is that the Dragon Speed car? Oh, it is! Big crash! Massive crash for the number 3 Corvette. And the yellow flag come up, maybe even the red flag. Full course yellow. Massive crash. That's Alexander Sims. My goodness, he got flung into the air by the tires. I don't know if there was some contact. He's going to get out of that car, no problem. But the Dragon Speed 81 that was on pole in GTD also going slowly there in the background. So if you're a Corvette fan, this is nightmare for the start of this race. And I'm already losing my voice. Man, oh man. Wow, already under one lap, and we have a massive, massive crash. He walks away in just pure frustration. He throws his gloves on the ground. Stewards come over to check to make sure he's okay. I want to see a replay of this. He gets the Hans device off as well. Man, oh man, that was something. What a way to start this race, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious. So there was a lot of contact into the S's through 5, 6, and 7. As, the full course safety car comes out. Again, not 100% sure where the contact was. It might have been with Rexy, or he might have spun on his own. Let's see exactly what happened. I think he made contact with Rexy. He was trying to go over the curb and kind of clip himself. What a shunt that is. And as we're seeing on board with the number 14 Vassar Sullivan, no, he was getting a little bit loose. And took a bad line, hit the Porsche. That's more of a racing incident than anything. It's just so tight going through the uphill S's coming up to Oak Hill Bend that these kind of incidents are bound to happen. Look at the 65 Mustang in the background also going wide as well. Lots of chaos and carnage here up on the start. That's a massive hit getting sent up into the tire barriers like that. Goodness gracious, everyone. I'm glad Alexander Sims is okay from that, but man, oh man. Hopefully that won't be a super, super long cleanup. But at the moment, it kind of does look to be the case. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry, I'm just quickly checking something out. But so Dragon Sport also into the pit lane. They're doing a tire swap. From the lead, they have also been reported they will not be contributing to IMSA next year. They will be completely on their own, doing something else. What that is in the future, we do not know. But as of right now, we know the main reason for them is that they're actually very frustrated with IMSA. And the crash damage, the inconsistency of rule applications. There's a little bit of a replay here. It doesn't really show us exactly what happened to Dragon Speed. You can see them in the background just going slowly, but again, just that massive contact with the number 3 Corvette. If that was the 4 Corvette, that would be a lot more contentious because 4 Corvette is currently leading the championship right now. But again, on board with the car, he gets loose coming through the beginning of the section and goes a little bit offline and just hits the rear quarter panel of the AO Porsche. Maybe you can put some blame on the AO for forcing him out, but I don't really see that. I see that more of a racing incident leaning towards the Corvette being just a little bit too over-aggressive through a very difficult section of track. So that car is already up into the hoist. I think they'll be able to get this race restarted in the next 10 to 15 minutes. I haven't even gotten a sip of my water yet. My goodness gracious, I've just been holding on to it. We got 15 people here in chat. Very much appreciate all of you guys watching. Oh, I needed some water for that. That was a insane little clip and battle there. That was, wow. Just immediately off the hunch, just going up the hill, we got some massive, massive damage. And so, what I was saying earlier was Dragon Speed. For some reason, they, or actually, not for some reason, they got a lot of reasons to not be leaving IMSA, but I've never really seen the team come out and actively said that they're just frustrated with the overall quality of a championship. That's something you don't necessarily see. You see a lot of these teams usually just suck it up and get on going. But man, oh man, it's definitely something. It's such a shame to see, especially Dragon Speed, them running the LMP2 cars for a very long time. They've been a staple of sports car racing, especially in North America, for quite a while. So it's going to be a big shame to see them go. Whatever they do in the future, we will have to wait and see. Hi, Stevie Ray. Hope you're having a good day. Also, hi to Rianne Gamer. Hope you're also having a good time. We are currently under safety car conditions after a massive shunt from Alexander Sims and the number 3 Corvette going up the hill to Oak Tree Bend. But right now, I do want to go over the front running because Andrea Colleretti, Nikki Katzberg, that has not changed the front two. But Dennis Olsen in the 64 Mustang got an unreal start and is now up at the first. He's past Neil Verhagen in the number 1 BMW. Hasse Kloss also been overtaken, but Max Esterson gone from 4th down to 6th. Also didn't have a good start. Vervish, I'm so bad with that name with the number 65 Mustang. I think he started I think he was actually the one in 4th and has dropped down to 8th. So the Mustangs have switched positions. The 14 Lexus also just not having a good day right now. Just qualified last in GTD Pro, still in last. Up in front though, wow, we've had some changes. So Lorenzo Bertresi in the 34296 has taken up in front. We got Danny Formal in the WTR Lamborghini has now moved up in the front row of GTD. And in the Turner Motorsports car, Patrick Elger in the 96 also moved up. Russell Ward in the 57 started 3rd, now down in the 4th. The championship fighter is, most importantly, he is ahead of Dudu Barrichello in the 27, who's all the way down in, my goodness, I'm getting some hiccups, all the way down in 8th in class. So just to let you guys know, we have championship battles going on in both classes. In GTD Pro, it's a 3-way title fight between the number 1 Paul Miller car, the number 4 Corvette, and Rexy in the 77. And I think I think that's exactly how the championship standings go. It goes to 4 Corvette, then the 1 BMW, then the 77 Rexy. Maybe the 77 and the 1 are mixed. I'll have to reconfirm. Maybe someone else can confirm in chat with me to let me know. But that's currently where we are in that championship fight. And right now it's a 2-horse fight in GTD between the 27 Heart of Racing car and Windward in the 57. So Windward's gone back-to-back races. They're trying to go for 3 in a row. And if they go for 3 in a row, that means they're also going to very much increase their chance of going 3 in a row in GTD for the championship. Again, we're going to see another replay of this. Like, you guys can't see it, but it's just, he gets hit by the Porsche, but at the same time, he was getting loose on end. He was already having a bad run into the corner. He gets a little bit wide, and yeah, he kind of just, that's hard. That's a really difficult one to read. It's most definitely a racing incident. I'll be shocked if Rexy gets a penalty for that, but definitely contentious to say the least. We haven't heard anything about the car having any damage. I don't think the car's gone through the back. There's a little bit of damage on the front of the Carte Blanche Aston Martin, who was rubbing wheels. I think it was with one of the Mustangs. Yeah, we're going on board with them. He's looking up the inside of the BMW. Actually, no. So that was the 68 Carte Blanche. Interesting. He just tried to send it up into a gap that didn't exist and just clipped the rear end of the Paul Miller car. So that's all. Paul Miller in the number 1. They didn't lose all that much time because of it. This was the carbon fiber I saw getting dropped off, and that was with the Ray Hall Letterman McLaren, who lost some of the aerodynamic pieces on the front of the car. But very, very tight and contentious here at the start. And man, oh man, already a massive crash on the opening lap. I think this is, apart from Daytona, I can't really remember. Yeah, you can tell really that it's definitely a little bit, just a little bit contentious. We'll have to wait and see what happens on this restart. Maybe these guys will be calming down and simmering down. I bet you the guys over the IMSA radio are saying the same thing. Like, calm down, you guys. Let's just have a clean race. So maybe we won't see the most contentious of restarts. So we'll have to wait and see. CV Ray in the comments saying, Ford hasn't gotten the Mustang where they need it. It's been a hit or miss transitioning from muscle car to sports car, and you could tell when they're qualifying. I couldn't agree with you more. I've been very disappointed with this car pretty much all year, especially with how well it started last year, winning at Daytona, winning big races everywhere. It was a top 3 car outside of the Corvette and the BMW. It is a very, very fast car. But this year, it's just been a mid. It's just been mid. It's been an average to below average car. And yes, it won at Laguna. But the only reason it won that race was because of the fuel strategy. And I'll give them all the props in the world to get that strategy off. Because if you guys remember at Laguna, with about 4 minutes remaining, I think it was 4 out of the top 5 cars in GTD Pro had to go into the pits, which put the 64 into that sand. Which is, hey, great job. You win on strategy. But until you win on race pace, that means nothing to me. And this car has done nothing on race pace. I mean, last time out at Road America, there was some hinting that they were doing good. They obviously look really strong here on this opening lap. Of course, we have under 2.5. We got 2.5 hours of racing to really see exactly what's going on here. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on what's going to happen with them and how they will go. But we're still under safety car conditions. Andrea Calderetti in the FAF, number 9, still in the lead. Rian asking me, what do you think about the sound of the Ford LMDH Coyote V8? That's the best sounding hypercar on the grid. That's the best. That's the best sounding car. I love it, you guys. I think it sounds so goddamn good. I've been waiting and waiting for something like that for a very, very long time, and we just haven't got it. And so the fact that we finally have it is just so goddamn awesome. I have just now realized this has never been done on the live timing thing. God damn it, I'm gonna have to hold on, let me figure out how I can do this. Nope, I can't do the width. I'm gonna have to crop this very differently. Wow, this actually really annoys me. So I just figured out that the live timing, I could bring that up, but it's on the other side of the crop screen, and if I try to like reset and crop it, we're gonna be here for a while, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just gonna keep with the live timing. We're at 2 hours 27 minutes exactly on the marking remaining in this race. We're still under safety car conditions right now. Yeah, we will have to wait and see exactly what happens here on said restart. I'm actually gonna try, and because if I don't want to do reset transform, because if I do that, then yeah, no bueno. Because yeah, I'll have it. Because you gotta have this thing here, right? This sucks. Because in OBS you can't just move it across. Maybe I could. But yeah, I'm not the happiest camper in the world about what has just concluded here. Actually, you know what? Let me try something. 300 and then 200. Oh, wait. Hold on. I think we're on to something here, chat. We might be on to something here. 300. Wait, hold on. Hey, chat, we're under safety car. I can do this, okay? Hold on. No, that's too much. No, that's also too much. 420. Of course, 420 is the fucking top of the mark. Let's go, chat. This is how you do technical stuff on the fly and perfect. Look at this. Look at this. Are you guys not proud of me? Are you guys not proud of me for this? Boom, we got it. That's how we do it. Fast and effective. I also just realized that we have the end of the hairpin cropped off here. So we're still under yellow flag. I can get I can deal with these things, chat. Oh my god. You gotta love doing some transformations. Let me crop the right. Wait, no, never mind. Wait. You guys see what I'm doing here? You're seeing it? Boom. Who cares that we don't see all the full... wait, wrong way. We got to see the full track. Yeah, there we go. We fixed it. Okay, perfect. See, welcome to Nicholas Poitras and fucking technical difficulties on the fly. We're still under yellow, so we haven't lost all that much time. Oh, dude, you've been to a bunch of NASCAR races enjoying it. You are a lucky man, and I'm a Ford man when it comes to my NASCARs. Let's go, Blaney. I'm a number 12 fan through and through. But yeah, we're still under safety car conditions. This has been a bit of a long one, actually. I've been quite surprised they haven't got it all set up. I think if my predictions are sound, I think we will be going green flag, I would say, in the next 2 laps, maybe 3. Yeah, safety car lights are still on out. We still have Colorado up in front, Katzberg in second, Olsen in third, Verhagen in fourth. And yeah, it just now becomes a question of what's going to happen on this restart. I mean, we've been so close to getting a really good opportunity here. And yeah, it's just kind of, we're just kind of holding on to a position right now. And so because of that, the main question now becomes, yeah, what's going to happen on this restart? Are we going to see any more chaos? I would say no. I think IMSA has kind of just gone to all the radios and be like, guys, calm down. We can't be doing this. Let's get it clean. So I think we're going to get a really safe restart here, and we're going to get some clean driving until another safety car brings it back out. I didn't, okay, I don't want to be a glass half empty person here, chat. But I'm not expecting the greatest race of all time. This is VIR. This is a driver's track, yes. But just like how Suzuka's a driver's track in F1, it doesn't mean it's a great racing track for racing and actual overtaking and stuff. There have been some legendary battles here, sure, but following a guy through a lap here is very difficult, and there's really only 2 overtaking opportunities into I always forget what the, god damn, I'm so bad with my corner names. I always forget exactly what that, as an IMSA fan for 3 years, I'm numb to full safety. Real. Honestly, real. But I feel like they do a good job of it compared to other leagues. I feel like, well, WEC, I feel like they're way too long. Like, the safety cars in WEC are ridiculously long, especially with the stages. I understand that they do that mainly for Le Mans, but it's just not a big fan. I'm okay with this. IMSA's always done a good job of getting stuff cleaned up, especially for the end of a race. They know that we want to see a finish of a race, and so they get that stuff cleaned up. The Americans have always been the best cleanup crews. That is just, except in IndyCar. I don't know why in the most dangerous series where you would expect safety standards and crew to be the best, or it's actually the worst. But I think, yep, we are going to go racing this time by. So, the Mustang Dark Horse up in front has pulled on away. And now, we're going to be getting a restart here very, very soon. We got Colorado up in front. Katzberg, Olsen, Verhagen, Hasse-Klott, your top 5. In GTD, it's Patrese, Formal, Gallagher, Ward, and Tellitz, your top 5. Ferrari, Lamborghini, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus. We got 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 in GTD. 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 in GTD Pro, and we're green flag racing. Wow, what a start from Olsen in the 64. He's going to get the jump here on Katzberg as they go wheel to wheel down towards turn 1. What a start from the Mustang as he's going to make it up the inside and up in the second. What? What a great restart from them. The Corvette's going to make it a little bit difficult, trying to stay alongside on the outside, and he gets it. How on earth is he holding on to that outside? That'll be the inside. In the turn 2, he's going to go wheel to wheel with the Mustang, but he gets him back in the second place. All the while, these two are fighting. Call already up in front is pulling away. This is a dream start for the Pfaff Motorsports crew as they're trying to get their second win of the season. Paul Miller Racing right in the background. They're rubbing their hands. They want to get it up into this fight. The 65 Mustang has been overtaken by Jack Hawksworth in the 14, but immediately passes him back. Right in the back, Patrase's in the lead in GTD. Still holding on. Danny Formal in second. Patrick Gallagher in third. All clean so far on this restart. So they kept it calm. They kept it clean. And it's all clean so far as they make their way through Oak Tree Bend. And down the back straight they go. So interesting that Olsen is looking really racy here at the start of this. We have not seen the Mustang show this much up in front, but Corvette still holding on to that second place. Esterson right on the back bumper of Hasse-Klott in that battle for P5 and 6. But it's all clean so far right now. DXTT all the way in the background. They're looking to try to move up in that fight. They're currently down in 6 in class, trying to go after Tellitz. That car has been very interesting to me because the fact that that car is pretty middling as, wow, in from the lead comes Lorenzo Patrese in the 34. Is this a stop and go? This might be a stop and go for the 296 crew. I'm so bad. I forget exactly what the team name is. But man, oh man, the leaders in GTD are into the pit lane. I don't know if this is a mandatory stop. This might be a stop and go. This has to be a stop and go, right? Or a drive-through? It's a drive-through. So a drive-through penalty for Lorenzo Patrese in the 34 in and out of the pit lane. So that is not at all what you want to see if you're a fan of that 296, because they were looking so good for a good result. But hey, the good news is that you get these incidents out of the way, and now you try to fight it back. Again, 2 hours and 18 minutes into this race. We got a long way to go in this race. Lots of opportunity for these guys to make time up. And since we've already seen chaos and coronation here at the beginning of this race, I don't see why we can't see it once again. Here comes AO Racing Rexy up the inside as Harry King trying to make a move on Esterson, as Hasse Quat has started to move away up in the top 5. At Esterson, who started on the second row, not having the luck in that 720S. I think a lot of you guys already know this, but Esterson and that RRL McLaren, they've never won in IMSA. That car has been winless in IMSA in its entirety. Same what was in the hands of Pfaff. That car never won in any way, shape, or form. It's still looking for its first win. They was looking like there was maybe a chance of it at Road America before it went up in smoke with another technical issue. This is like the 8th time they're showing the replay of the opening lap crash. That's, again, what a massive shunt for that 3 Corvette getting up into the tire barrier. But again, what I was saying about Esterson and the McLarens, they, especially at the beginning of this race, they have really good pace. I mean, you always see them in the top 5, even in the top 3 sometimes, fighting out with it. But then they just fall through near the back end. Then Alexander Sims is getting a quick interview about exactly what happened in that number 3 car. But man, oh man, it's just really interesting to see what's going to happen with McLaren for their future of racing, because they haven't really done much there in IMSA, while in Europe it's a way different story. They've won Spa 24, they've won a lot of other events. Like that car's been a lot more competitive, especially in G2 World Challenge Europe. A lot more competitive. So hopefully, somehow, some way, we can see some competitiveness out of the car here at VIR. But right now, it's currently in P6, being hounded by Harry King and Vervic. And now, here's the 81 Dragon Speed car again in the pit lane. This is Casper Stevenson in the car. Is this a stop and go? What is going on? Emergency service, but like, I don't understand why the car stopped here at the exit of the pit lane. The pole sitters in GTD are done. I think they're done and dusted for today, which is such a shame. Getting such a good qualifying position, and they are pretty much out of this right from the get-go. So what a shame to see. And yes, to confirm in track, or the firm in chat, yes, Vassar Sullivan. Wow, this is just a complete opposite of their recent form. They've been so good, winning back-to-back races at both Mosport and what was the previous race? I'm blanking where they won. I forget, but they won back-to-back races, and they have been so. Oh yeah, it was Watkins Glen and Mosport. They won back-to-back, and man, it's been looking really good for them. But pace is gone. The bop has come into place, and they go, nope, this car's old. You had your fun. It's time to call it quits. So right now, it's still Calderetti up in front, Kasperg in second, but we're already seeing some gaps form between second and third. Gap is coming up to 2 seconds between Olsen and Kasperg, as Kasperg, in the number 4 Corvette, is starting to slowly make his way for an attack on Andrea Calderetti in the number 9 Lamborghini. In the background, Sylvesterson holding on with Harry King, Vervic, and Mies in the background. But Daddy Formal is now the new leader in GTD, and he has a 2-second gap on Patrick Gallagher in the 96 Turner Motorsports car. So that Formal holding on to the tail end of GTD Pro, which is exactly what you want to do in GTD. We see all the time in these races that the GTD field, the fastest cars in GTD are always going to be fighting and sometimes beating the slowest cars in GTD Pro. That's a pretty common thing to see. Right now, though, they're just holding on to the back of that tail end, and we'll just continue on. So yes, AL Racing third in the points. They're 21 points back on Katzberg. Right now, they won't be getting all these points in the championship. They will be staying in third in the championship right now if it continues the way it's going. Oh, excuse me. Up the inside, though, comes Dudu Parakello. He now moves up into P5, goes after Connor DeFilippi in the 36 DXDT car. They're trying to make their way up to the battle. All the way in the back, though, the 70 Inception Racing 296 and one of the Mustangs, it's the Silver Mustang, getting really close into turn 2. So definitely a little bit of tension here on track as the racing here is starting to heat up. In some ways or not, but actually, wow, look at that. So, it's Monk in this, or is it Monk? No, it's Walker in the 66 car, getting past the Inception 7296 and up in the P7 in class. Gets up ahead, but Danny Formal with a 2.3 second gap up in front. The thumbnail cover of this live stream is our leader in GTD. I hope that's not any sort of curse. I wonder why the Ford on board isn't working. I would not know because I haven't seen the Ford on board as of right now. I don't know if you have the IMSA Pro chat and you're watching that, and maybe that's exactly what's going on. But as of right now, yeah, I haven't really seen much of the Mustang on board. Man, oh man. 2 hours, 12 minutes exactly remaining in this race. We still got a long way to go here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing well in chat. We got 12 people here in chat, which not really surprised that we don't have all the people in the world here, but that's okay. VIR is for real fans only, as I like to say. And this is going to be, hopefully, a fun little race. But we're already seeing, like I said, we're seeing some big gaps. It's Dennis Olsen in the Mustang. Right now, he's about 2 seconds adrift of the Corvette. And also, I should say Katzberg, he was under a second, but not anymore. The gap's now up to 1.3 seconds. Last lap for Colleretti was a 1:47.1 compared to a 1:47.4 for Nicky Katzberg. So he lost a little bit of time on that last lap. Fastest lap of the race does belong to Andrea Colleretti, a 1:46.686. Fastest other lap from anyone else. No one else is in the 46s. Everyone else is in the 47s. So Andrea Colleretti up in front is in a league of his own. The Temerario getting a pretty good buff for this weekend. Clearly showing as they're absolutely flying up in front. But we're seeing some big gaps already. 2 seconds between, yes, like I said, second and third, but also for third and fourth, as Olsen has about a 1.7 second gap between him and the Paul Miller BMW. There's about 6/10 behind him is Hase caught in the 68, which I'm not 100% sure if that car will be making any ground. But we're already, again, yeah, some really big gaps here. I wasn't really expecting to see the gaps enlarge this quickly, but we're already seeing it as Danny Formal is doing exactly what he should be doing, holding on to the back of the GTD Pro field. He's got Hawksworth behind him, and then a second up the road is Vervich King Esterson, so he's right there. And the last 3 finishes for WTR, they've not been good. 20th at Watkins Glen, 5th at CTMP, and 12th at Road America. So for them to get a win would be really, really big. I think they got their last win at Laguna. I think that was their last win. And if it wasn't that, please remind me in the chat. But right now, it's not looking all too strong for the 45 car. Well, actually, sorry, it's looking very strong for the 45 car for the lead. Again, very early in this race. We got some high hopes for this team to get another win this year, and they're looking really, really good. 2.6 seconds between Formal and Gallagher, first and second. And some updates, again, in GTD. Dudu Barrichello gets past Tellitz in the number 12 Vassar Sullivan GTD. Now he's up in the 4th place, right behind Russell Ward in the 57. So that's something we'll have to look into later, as Patrick Gallagher, he's still holding on to second place, but Ward and Barrichello are slowly making their way up. I think we're going to get a battle for second place here in GTD very, very soon. I love the Turner Motorsports car. They haven't really had all of the success that you would hope for from this team this year. They haven't won yet. Still looking for their first one. At least I'm pretty sure that is. So we'll have to wait to see exactly what happens with him. But this is a really good... Yeah, their last VIR GTD wins was 2020. Turner Motorsport has had some success here in the past. But right now, they are kind of holding on right now to second place. But I will say, I don't know how long, because we got the Heart of Racing number 27. He's right on the back bumper of Russell Ward in the 57, who's right on the back bumper of the 96. So this is looking really, really interesting. Speaking of interesting, I think Dudu Barrichello is the only driver in the car in GTD. I think they only brought one person for this race. Very interesting to see. All the other drivers, they will be doing driver swaps, not Heart of Racing. Now, I believe the rules that have to work is if you're not doing a driver stop, you still have to do a long stop to make it fair. So it'll be all even on the pit stops. But Barrichello is the only car, and there's up the inside. He looks up the inside into turn 3, but couldn't get the move down. Again, this is a battle for the championship right now, so these two are going to be elbows out for sure. Russell Ward is not going to be letting Barrichello get by in any easy form. As they do show that Tom Gamble is on the graphics, so he might be racing today. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but look at how much he's hounding him. And look at how much time he's lost to Patrick Gallagher up in front. He's lost at least a second and a half just defending from Dudu Barrichello in the 27. So there's already a gap forming up in there. As Max Esterson, he's lost about 2 seconds at the back of Hasse Quad. Harry King as well has also lost the back of the 59. So again, not looking too strong here for third place in the championship fight. Harry King and the 77 AO team, they gotta lock on in here in the back half of this race if they want any chance to keep their championship hopes alive. We only have 3 races left in this season, guys, including this. After this, it's Indianapolis, and then we're at Road America. So Ray R. Letterman, they have won in the GTLM class of VAR in 2018, but that was in a BMW, not in a McLaren. So this team knows how to win here, just not in this car. They're 6 right now. They're 9 seconds off the lead. It's not looking all too strong here for Esterson. It looks like we'll get another middling result here for the 59 car, which is I really want this car to do well. I really do. I like McLaren. I like the McLary, as I like to call him. But you just got to get a good result, and it just hasn't happened yet. It just hasn't happened yet. Excuse my French for yawning. But up in front, Andrea Calderetti, he's still holding on to the lead really well. Last few laps, they're getting into the high 47s now last few laps. Last lap was a 147.970. But Nicky Gasper did a 147.763. So 0.2 of a lap faster. He's slowly but surely bringing that gap down. It's just around a second, but man, oh man, Calderetti in the number 9 car looking really strong. Faf, I think they might be looking to go back-to-back. I'll have to confirm that, but it's looking really, really good for them right now. Yeah, they are looking to go back-to-back as they won at Road America. So I don't know why I thought that they won at Watkins Glen for some reason. But yeah, they are looking to go back-to-back here in GTD Pro, which is great in present tense, but it sucks because this team won't be here next year. And we'll probably not have a Lamborghini Temerario unless we see, like, I don't know, Meyer Shank riding it. Which I'd be surprised if they bring that car up. I would be. Because, you know, Meyer Shank is very much linked to Honda and Acura. So I don't, like, it'd be hard to see them do stuff. Baja 915 says he's going to go cut some grass. I wish I could go cut some grass, but we had a crazy thunderstorm last night. Way too wet for cutting grass right now, so I'm going to have to worry about that a little bit later. But man, we're going to be here for quite a bit. 2 hours and 4 minutes remaining here at VIR, and we got some pretty big gaps here. Second and third is around 3 seconds, and behind him it's about a 2-second gap. It's pretty much single file action here so far. As, oh, look at this. We completely missed it because the IMSA producers suck at their job. But GTD has had a switch in position as Dudu Barrichello has passed Russell Ward. That's big for the championship. He gets ahead. He'll be getting the points. And now Barrichello, who was at the back of the grid in GTD, might I add you, is now coming up under the attack of the 296 the 96 Turner Motorsport car. He looks up the inside into the double right-hander, but just can't get the job done. But look at Russell Ward. He's right over his back bumper as they're now going to have a drag race down towards turn 13. Up the hill we go. They go wheel to wheel, and now Russell Ward sends it back. This is, again, remind you guys, this is the championship battle in GTD, but it seems like the Aston Martin has a little bit more straight line speed. He's going to try to send it up the inside, but he's going to have to back out of that. Dudu Barrichello just barely holding on the P3 in GTD. It was a great exit out of Oak Tree Corner, but just couldn't get the job done. Russell Ward in the 57 looking so hard and just couldn't find the move just yet. With that, that brings Telix right up into the back of this battle. We might have a 4-way battle here for second place pretty soon. This is the only close stuff that we're seeing on track right now as we see this battle. Looking up the inside in the background, though, is the 66 Proton Mustang trying to go up against the 3060 XTT car, but just can't get the move done. Again, looking up the inside into turn 3. No move there just yet for Dudu Barrichello. He's looking this way and that way, but Gallagher will not let him by. And all of the while with this battle, the gap up in front, Danny Formal, 6.1 seconds. I'm actually curious if you can see that gap on the track map. You kind of can, because you can see the end of the GTD lineup, and then you can see the front where the 96 is. So the gap is very much present. But also the gap between the number 4 and the 64 is also massive. It's about a 1.6 second gap between, or sorry, yeah, it's behind the overall leader. It's a 6.4 second gap, so it's about 5 seconds. But we're getting a train here in GTD from second on down under to 8th. So, or sorry, from second all the way to 7th, I mean. So we got a fun little queue here of 6 cars. Russell Ward has kind of backed off here in this battle. He won't be going after Barrichello into turn 13 this time. And now everyone's kind of mentioning about tire management, which for GTD Pro, I totally understand. I totally get it, especially with everything that's going on there. Not a lot of single file battling. I get it. In GTD, however, I don't know how they're going to be saving tires with this, with how close the pace is right now, especially with second down under, because they are way close here. They're pushing these cars. How I think Danny Formal up in front is the only one that's going to be saving his tires, so he will be done for now. And we are now officially coming up to 2 hours remaining in this race, as still up in front, and J. Carl already has a massive gap on the number 4 Corvette, who has an even bigger gap on Olsen in the 64. That's the top 3. Danny Formal has a 7.1 second gap from the lead to second place man Gallagher. But we do have a bit of a battle for second, third, and fourth in GTD between Dudu Barrichello, Patrick Gallagher, and Russell Ward as they make their way up into the double right-hander into Oak Tree Corner. Russell Ward right in the background. He's going to try to maximize on exit, but I'm starting to notice that the Mercedes doesn't have the straight line speed of the Aston Martin. And with these overtaking zones being really straight line speed based, I'm a little concerned for this car wanting to get some overtakes going. Because, yeah, like I said, got a great exit on Dudu Barrichello, but just couldn't get it done. In the slipstream, he's not gaining whatsoever. He does gain in the braking zone and in the corners, but nothing right now. He does get a little bit closer because Why do I say the 296? What is wrong with me? The 96 Turner Motorsport BMW is holding up the field massively in GTD, and he's holding up Dudu Barrichello in the 27 because he wants to get by as fast as he can this Turner Motorsport car. But the problem is that he's got his championship foe right in his mirrors. So this is really, really contentious. If Dudu Barrichello can't get by and Russell Ward is able to take advantage. But I actually think this might be a good opportunity. He's up the inside in the turn 3. That was a good opportunity for Barrichello to try to force a move there. But again, just couldn't do it. That Turner Motorsports car is a brick. The BMW is just holding on for dear life to second place right now. And all the while, right behind Tellitz, Connor DeFilippi, and Walker in the 12, 36, and 66, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're all coming onto the back of this fight as well. So GTD is looking really, really good now for a fight. But the question is, once again, where is that overtake going to be for Dudu Barrichello? He's got to get a really good exit out of the double right-hander and down the back straight. He's on his back bumper, but same as his Russell Ward, also on the back bumper here. 3x3, we go down towards the most difficult corner on the track. But the Aston Martin, he's in the slipstream. He might get an advantage here. Where will the 96 car move? Wow, the BMW actually, I think of the three, probably is the best on straight line speed because he's able to hold on. Even with okay exits, no draft, he's just able to hold on. Up in front, Russell Ward still right on the back bumper of Dudu Barrichello, who's right on the back bumper of Gallagher. In the background, Walker right on the back bumper of Felipe. But again, no overtakes just yet. We'll see what this Mustang's able to do. Coming into turn 1, we got a little bit of a Mustang Corvette battle coming up in the turn 1. As up the inside, I think we're going to see a move here for second place. And up the inside goes Dudu Barrichello in the 27. He gets the move up in the second place. Finally gets away from Russell Ward in the 57. Russell Ward tried to take advantage of the Turner Motorsports car getting the move done, but he just can't get by. Russell Ward is going to be kicking himself because look at the gap already. As soon as he gets by, it's already a second gap for that 27 car. Russell Ward has to get this overtake done now. He's got to get it done as soon as he can because Dudu Barrichello in open field with no worries is the fastest GTD. And this is going to be a major problem if he can't get going on by. Jack Hawksworth in the number 14 has entered into the pit lane. That's the first car to have, I think that's a regular stop. I think all these cars are going to be coming in for their first stops in the next, I would say 10 to 15 minutes. We'll have to wait for now. But man, oh man, that was a great overtake up the inside from Dudu Barrichello. Forced the move, got it done, and he was waiting. He needed that very much. But the main question now is, will Russell Ward get past Patrick Gallagher in the 96 BMW? That is what I'm curious to see about. And yeah, if that does happen, will we see Russell Ward try to go after Dudu Barrichello? Because like I said, on one lap pace, I'm actually curious to see what the fastest laps in GTD are looking like right now. As I should also mention that Frederick Vervich is also gone down the order. I think he's also done a pit stop and has gone away. And there he is. So there's the Mustangs. First of the GTD Pro Mustangs to go in for their stop. And that's Frederick Vervich in the 65 doing all 4 tires and fuel up here on the star. As the 66 Proton Mustang has gone past the DXTT 36 Corvette and is now moved up into 5th in class. As Aaron Tellitz in the Vassar Sullivan number 12 car has also entered into the pit lane. So we're starting to see our first stops of the day. But man, oh man, the big thing in GTD and the big thing for this title fight is that Russell Ward can't get past Patrick Gallagher. He's still stuck behind that BMW. We saw how difficult it was to pass as we were on board for between 5 to 10 laps and nothing was really going on. But look at the gap already, 2.5 seconds between Barrichello and Gallagher. And now we will try to see whether or not that car will be making its way on down. And right now, when you look at the fastest laps of the race, that fastest lap goes in GTD. It is Dudu Barrichello. He's the only one in the 47s with a 147.865. Or sorry, that's his most recent fastest lap. He was absolutely flying, but right now, not looking all too good for Formal. He's starting to slow up a little bit. Maybe we'll see Barrichello try to go up for it. Valentin Hasek-Clot in the Carte Blanche car, the Aston Martin, has gone into the pit lane. And into the pit lane, also in from the lead, is Danny Formal in the 45. So we got some big changes already. Cars coming in. We'll see when the leaders in GTD Pro will come in. Same with Barrichello, same with Gallagher. So, and same with Walker. So everyone but Russell Ward and Connor DeFilippi in that battle have gone into the pits. I'm curious to see why they have decided to go long Russell Ward. I feel like they feel that the undercut would be the way to go, but we'll have to wait and see. And they're already doing some driver swaps as well. It's looking really good here for some of the cars as they come out. Will we see any switches? Oh, okay, so Harder Racing just barely held on in front of the Turner Motorsports BMW crew and was able to hold on to that position. So that could have been pretty contentious if that gap was a little bit closer. But Danny Formal comes out in... Where is he? Wow, he's really far down the order. Having gotten that stop done, again, very, very early. But up in front, look at this. Nicky Katzberg has closed in on Andrea Caldaretti. Gap's a half a second right now. So, depending on when these guys go into the pits, which with everyone starting to do their first stops, I would not be surprised if it happens in the next 5 to 10 minutes. This is going to be interesting between these two. It is really a two-horse race here in GTD Pro between the number 4 Corvette and Caldaretti in the number 9, which I right now, even if Corvette doesn't get the win here, this is so good for their championship hopes because they had a pretty interesting and chaotic race last time out. They were losers to AO and were losing to some points. There's been some bleeding in the championship fight for them, but right now, this is looking really good. And if they can somehow get past FAF Motorsports, that'll be even better. They get them back into a real good chance into winning this championship. Into the pits comes Connor DeFilippi in the 36. But again, Russell Ward in the 57 reluctantly not coming in. There goes Robert Wickens into the car. So Robert Wickens is into the car for the remainder of this year. And I think he's going to try to get a full-time drive for next year as well. It's kind of strange seeing Lamborghini running so well recently. Honestly, I'm not surprised. For both the Huracan and the Temerario. When you have a brand new car getting launched into racing, as soon as it comes out, for the most part, it sucks. And it's either going to be horrible or insanely good, like the Mustang. And that's usually because BOP doesn't know what to do. It's up the inside. Goes the 65 Mustang. That was almost a big crash. And the 66 Proton Mustang now going wide. He goes off on the last corner and is able to get back out on track and goes into the pit lane. His front left wheel has fully come off the car. What on earth? That's not something you usually see every day. So that's going to be a quick stop. So that's pretty much race done for Lewis in the 66 Proton Mustang car. Oh, that is not good whatsoever. I just saw it go off wide on the final corner. Thank God it was able to go straight into the pit lane, in and out of the pit. That's going to be a very short stop. That's the way they go. As Olsen in the 64 Mustang is going into the pit lanes as well. So we're starting to see some of the top guys in GTD Pro starting to move into the pit lane. But again, very bizarre what we were seeing there. What was I talking about as well? Lamborghini. Not surprised that they're doing well now. Usually especially with a production car like that or a big factory car, it takes a little bit to figure out, but once they get into it, it's going to be good. Modern cars are always going to be competitive because that's just how it works. So I'm not surprised that it's happening. I am a little surprised, though, that the Huracan is getting the benefit of the doubt, even though the new car is still here. And that also goes the same for Russell Ward and the Mercedes. You know, I actually had a conversation with my buddies about this. The Winward car that you're seeing right now is that Evo car. The Evo is 7 years old. The original car is as old as the RCF. But nobody talks about it. And it's like, huh. Yeah, so it's very bizarre, especially with how they treat older cars and also how they treat new. It seems like they benefit both, but again, it doesn't really make all that sense. And also, I said Connor D. Felipe. That's crazy. Mason Felipe was in the car. I see the Felipe, and I just think it's Connor D. Felipe. But I think it was also Connor D. Felipe in the car, and I guess maybe that's his brother. I don't know. But Robert Wickens is in the car. He has been so good for DXCT all year round. He's crazy quick at Long Beach, crazy quick at a few other races at Mosport as well. It's just the luck for the team hasn't gone. But here we go. We're already starting to see our first major swing up in front. Andrea called already into the pits, but Katzberg deciding not to. Esterson also into the pit lane. Katzberg and Verhagen, Harry King as well, not. So the top three in the championship have relucted to stay out. And I think we're going to be seeing an undercut for Katzberg if they're able to go for it. But it will be a driver swap. Out goes Andrea Calderetti and in goes Sandy Mitchell in the FAF Motorsports car. They're trying to go for back-to-back wins, I think, for their first time ever in FAF history. I don't think they've ever won back-to-back races in their entire career. So for them in their final every year to get some back-to-back wins, I think that'll be a great final send-off for the FAF Motorsports team before they go into owning Mosport as drive-through, tire without crew on the GTD. So because of the chaos in the pits, wow, that actually really sucks. Even though they had the tire completely fall off, here's a replay of what happened. The tire never really fall off. They just went wide through the last corner. That's really weird. But I guess they didn't follow pit stop procedures, even though it was an emergency pit stop. And to add insult to injury, they have to do another drive-through for an already bad incident. So it is officially over for the 66 car. They're just going to try to make sure the car finishes home, gets home at the end. But right now, we do need to see when Katzberg, Verhagen, and King need to enter the pits. And there goes Katzberg. So Katzberg enters the pits now because the gap was around a half a second when they went into the pits. Let's see if he will get overcut. Let's see if he will get the overcut on Mitchell in the number 9. This is going to be a very big and important pit stop for the number 4 Pratt Miller Motorsports team. It's going to be, is it going to be 4 tires? I think it should. If you're doing a driver swap, you might as well do 4 tires. In as well comes Neil Verhagen in the number 1 car. No, Harry King reluctantly stays out. So he's going to go for another lap, trying to get some good pace here on open lap. Oh, they're trying to get the door closed here on the number 4 Corvette, and the door's not closing. Uh-oh, that's not what you want to see. They can't close the door. It's not closing. Oh my God. So Verhagen is going to take him back. This is massive for the championship fight. So Verhagen will take second provisionally. Nicky Katzberg is still in the pit lane. He's dropping and dropping. Now he's out. That is massive for the championship fight. Harry King is going to be looking at it and going, oh my God, I might have been saved. So now this is amazing news for FAF because now they have like a 15-second lead up in front. But also for the championship fight, this immediately brings the AO and Verhagen right back in. Here's a replay. Oh, look at this. The number 4 car went wide, and this might have been why they went into the pits. I'm not sure, but that's a mistake from the Pratt Miller team. Of course, I don't think that put any reason as to why the door going to handle, but look at this. The door would not shut. This is shades of 66 Le Mans when the door couldn't shut. If you guys remember the Ford versus Ferrari movie, that is unreal. You never see stuff like this happen, especially with modern cars. But my God, they're down in 9th now. Now, reminder, a lot of these cars, actually, never mind. Most of these guys have pit. This is horrible now. Pit stop comparison. That was a 70-second pit stop. It was 20 seconds longer than what Paul Miller Racing did. And they were 15 seconds ahead. They lost 40 seconds on that stop. That is unreal. That blows this race wide open for the championship final with 3 races to go. Oh my God. Both Paul Miller Racing and AO are just like, thank God, because they needed that. And now we're seeing the 27 AO car. He's trying to get past the number 4 out of the final corner. He might get overtaken by a GTD car here. This is horrible stuff for Milner and the Pratt Miller team. They're, again, like I said, they're trying to go for a championship here, and they're down in 9th, being hounded by a GTD car. Now, this is the best GTD car in the field alongside the Russell Ward car. So, if you're gonna get overtaken and have to battle with a GTD car, it's gonna be them. But man, this is nightmarish for Paul Miller Racing, having exactly what's been going on. Canceled the grass. This track is narrow in some areas like RA and older tracks. People always go wide there. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's pretty common to see some stuff like that. But man, it's just like, wow, how does this stuff even happen? But I gotta say, these mistakes are rare, and especially into a corner like that, especially for a Pratt Miller team like them, you don't see that stuff. But man, oh man, we have seen a massive change here. Also a change in GTD with Lorenzo Petresi in the 34 and that 296. They're in the lead by 22 seconds. Now, they haven't pit yet, and that was because they had to go through a drive-through on the restart. And I guess they're just holding on the track position for now. I don't know what's exactly going to go through on this, but wow. Windward have lost a lot of positions. They've lost out to the 12. And yeah, no, they've lost the position to the 12, so they've gone down another position. This is really not good for them here. But up in front, they still haven't pit yet. I think they will be coming into the pits this time or next. It's AO Racing, Rexy, and Harry King. They've been so good last 3 races. 7th at Watkins Glen, 2nd at Mosport, and 2nd at Road America. And they're currently leading this race. If they can get another top 3 finish out of this, I don't know if they're going to win, especially with Sam Mitchell in the number 9 doing so well. Doing so well in this race. If they can get themselves into another podium spot and continue their podium streak, this is looking insanely good for the championship for them. They just got to keep the good times rolling and keep the luck going because, yeah, BMW got unlucky at Road America, and now we're seeing Corvette getting unlucky. Luck plays a massive role in racing. We all know this. Everyone in chat knows this. And it just comes down to how the dice roll sometimes. And right now, the dice is rolling really well for Rexy as they're trying to make their way into the lead of this championship fight. Which, right now, I think they would. If positions stay the way they are, if the number 1... And sorry, Connor DeFelipe is in the number 1. That's where I got confused from. But yeah, if Connor DeFelipe in the number 1 Paul Miller car and the number 4 have also had their issues, this is looking really good for them. Really, really good. I wish I could get flares like that 66 car on mine. Do you, Channel 53, do you have a Mustang? Because that's really cool. That is really cool. And if so, if you have a Mustang, what kind of Mustang? You got a 5.0? You got a Boss? What you got? I'm curious to see what you got. But man, oh man, it's looking really good right now for Harry King, AO Racing. But again, they still haven't pit. That's why the gap is 33 seconds up in front. And that's why also the gap is 33 seconds up in front in GTD. So, again, some guys still need to do some pit stops. And once they get those stops in, then I think we will be able to see some pretty darn good racing. But sorry. 1 hour, 40 minutes remaining in this race. It's still Harry King up in front. like I said, yeah, Patrese and King in the 34 and 77, they still have to go into the pits. They're just extending as much as they can, which I never like this strategy in racing. I always hate it. When you go out long and you're on old tires and you're losing, most chances than not, you're going to be losing time doing this. And I don't know if this is the correct strategy that the 77 should be doing, but here we are. We're seeing it right now. It's quite an interesting one, to say the least. Excuse me. But the fact of the matter is that they got to come in soon. They have the advantage with 32 seconds, but like we said, it seems like stops are around 40 seconds. So the longer they stay out, it's not really, I don't see it being a benefit, because they'll come out around 4th and 5th between Hasselblad and Vervich in the Aston Martin and the Ford. Mitchell and Barker will get past. But again, I am not really sure what the gain here, chat, for them staying out wide. We'll have to wait and see eventually what happens. But yeah, not something at all we want to see for that team if they just keep bleeding time. Let's look at the last few laps. Maybe we'll get a bit of a better answer as to what has gone on. But last lap of 148.0 for Harry King. Anyone else really faster than him? Ben Parker in the 64, and that's about it. So actually, what I was trying to say is that usually you bleed time doing this, but if you're confident in the pace of your car and you're not going to be bleeding time, then have at it. And right now, they're having at it. They are the fastest. They're the second fastest GTD Pro right now. So they're doing a really good job holding on to that 32-second gap. But again, like I said, they will be dropping positions. So how long you do this for is key. It's not just about doing the right thing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. As Lorenzo Patrese, as I was talking about it, he thinks it's the right time. He's now going into the pits from the lead. Again, this is a 40-second stop, so he will be dropping all the way down to around, I think, 7th place, I think is where he'll be. 7th or 8th. We'll have to wait and see. As now, Hinman back in the 45 Wayne Taylor racing car goes back up into the lead, but Tom Gamble in the 27, I said under green flag conditions with no traffic, clean air, that 27 is so fast. And that gap now is down to 4.6. So I don't think that battle in GTD is also over. But I do think in both GTD Pro and GTD, they work well. It was supposed to be a 2-horse race in GTD Pro, but because of a door handle, that's not the case anymore. In GTD, though, I think we could very well see Gamble in the 27 Heart of Racing car get onto the back bumper of that Huracan, and we might just see a race for the win here at VIR in the GTD class, as we are coming up to an hour and a half remaining in this race. But right now, again, up in front, we're seeing, Alice is now getting handled a little bit by Tellitz in the number 12. This is starting to get a little bit interesting between these two. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened. But yeah, as of right now, nothing currently is happening with the Winmore. They need to get up into a better position right now if they want any chance of getting at Heart of Racing, but it's just not looking like it's their weekend so far. Like I said, I did notice that on straight line speed in a pack, they just are not as fast as the BMWs or the Astons. But they're able to hold on when needed, but I guess in clean air, just not looking all too good for Turner Motorsport in the 57. So we'll have to wait and see. We are a long way. How much energy does Rexy have right now? I don't know. There's no stats on that. I wish I could give a proper answer on that. So yeah, we will have to wait and see. But in hour, 33 minutes and 40 seconds still remaining in this race. Harry King is still up in the lead. And now he's starting to lose some time. So he's lost about 2 seconds in the last few laps. If I was the team manager of AO, I would say get that car in the pits. You're losing too much time now. And they will come out, I think, around 6th, maybe 7th place. Around wherever Vitch in the 65 and Hawksworth in the 14. But again, pit. Just like stop bleeding time, pit. You got to go in and do stuff like that. But it's just, again, not really happening in the way that we are hoping for. But again, it's just right now, just not really looking to be best case scenario for them. Because, yeah, like I said, they're losing time to Mitchell, they're losing time to Barker. They're now starting to lose time to Haseklat and Vervich, which, by the way, I think we might be seeing a little bit of a battle for 4th and 5th between the Aston Martin and the Ford. Which, by the way, speaking of Carte Blanche, I want to mention them. I was very interested about them throughout this whole race because, you know, I was really confused on why they were going back between GTD and GTD Pro. I know they probably want to run GTD Pro all of next year. I think that's the plan. But they just weren't running all too well. Like, I think they run at Mosport and GTD Pro, and they weren't good. They were below average, I would say. In GTD, they were fighting for wins. Like, they were up in the top 3. At Road America, they were fighting in the top 3 before they eventually settled for, I think, 4th. Like, there's potential for this car, but... And honestly, I was like, oh, they're going back into GTD Pro. It probably won't be all too good. But right now, they're in 4th. They're 3 seconds away from 3rd. And they're not doing the worst job in the world. So my hats go off to the Carte Blanche and that team for doing a really solid job right now on holding on with the team. But man, oh man, apparently the track temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. So it's a hot day in Virginia right now. It is not a hot day here on the Pacific Northwest here in Canada, to be exact. It's interesting. Being a Canadian, loving and watching American racing and American sports right now, given some of the political stuff going on. I hope that doesn't change for me because as much as I would love I would love to do as much as I can within North American and motorsports, but if I have no choice but to leave, then I will. So we'll see exactly what happens in the next few months and years. And that also goes the same for, like, I bet you maybe fast part of the reasoning for not joining is because of being a Canadian team and just not having the benefits as some of the American teams. But I don't want to get into that. But right now, Carte Blanche right on the back bumper of Barker for 3rd. This is... Yeah, they're doing really well right now in that 68 Aston Martin. Was not expecting them to be running in the top 5. I didn't expect them to even qualify in the top 5. But here they are, and they're doing a great job. But again, now the gap's under 30 seconds. AO, get your car in the pit lane, please. Get it in. You're losing, like, I know they're not really losing time to Haseklat and Vervich because they've been actually holding on to that gap pretty good. But, like, I don't know. Me personally, the more you stay out, the more you bleed to the leader. So if I were them, I'd be trying to get into that pits immediately. Also, at the back of the pack in GTD Pro, Tommy Milner in the number 4 car is slowly starting to catch up to the GTD Pro cars. He's catching up to Johnson in the 59 Rahal Letterman car. And only a few seconds up the road is the Paul Miller racing car of Connor DeFilippi, which I think at this point, their motors are shit. Well, we're not going to win this race. We just have to beat the BMWs and get the job done. Up the inside goes Hinman. That's the leader in GTD saying, get out the way, Paul Miller Racing. That's unreal. That's not, you usually do not see stuff like that, but man, that just goes to show how much Paul Miller is struggling right now being down the order. I thought they were doing a lot better than this, but I guess out of this restart, they have just been poor. And out of the first stint, they have just been poor. As we got under an hour and a half to go, they got to walk on in if they want any chance to get back up at the top 5. But this is looking incredibly good for AL. There was a little bit of carbon fiber flipped up into, a little bit of contact into turn 1 between the WTR Lamborghini and the Paul Miller Racing BMW. Interesting stuff to see here as he pulls a gap. But again, this is going to be good for the Corvette. And finally, into the pits comes Harry King in the 77. The question now comes, where will he come out in front of the Paul Miller Racing BMW and the Corvette? My guess is that he will come out around 10 seconds in front in 6. It's going to be a long stop with them having to do a driver swap, but the predictions are right now. If you have a good stop, it's around 40 seconds. If you have a bad stop, it's around a minute. So we'll see exactly what's going on. Out goes Nick Tandy. In goes Harry King. Did they do a 4-tire stop? I think they did. Just doing a quick cleaning up of bugs here. Getting the fuel in the car. He's down into 5th. I think he'll lose 6 here. Oh, I don't know. Actually, this might be a little bit closer than I thought here, chat. They get the fuel out. They lose. Wow. So they actually lose. Guys, this is why I despise going long. Is because you stay out and you bleed time. If they went out later, I don't think this would have happened. Now they're getting floundered by Nick Foley in the 96 Turner Motorsports car as they go wheel to wheel out of turn 1. This is not the best thing you want on cold tires. He's going to have to let the Turner Motorsports car go. But wow, that is horrible. That's a horrible stop for 77. We'll get a replay. Did they lose some time here? No, they went a little bit wide on the corner. They lost a little bit of debris, but again, nothing to excuse. I thought they had the gap to get that time off. I was not expecting it to be 50 seconds, but wow, I'm really confused, and I'm also just gobsmacked. So, in spite of holding on to the lead and having a big gap, they lost 2 seconds to the leader up in front. But now it's just like they're last in GTD Pro. They're last, and now they're 4 seconds adrift from Tommy Miller in the back. This has not worked out whatsoever for AL Racing. Bad strategy call from them to go as long as they did. I said it. I said it about 10 minutes ago. They have to stop the bleeding. You got to look at the times, and as soon as you see that you're losing time, get in. Stop wasting time. I hate when racing teams do this. And another example of why staying out long like that just doesn't help. Now, what that means later on in the race because they're on offset strategy, that might be the thing that saves AO, is that they're on offset. But we got to see how that works out, because this is, again, like, it's just not going to work in that way. Hold on, I need to blow my nose. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. As now we're seeing right on the back bumper, this is a battle for 7th to 8th between the RL McLaren and the Pratt Miller Corvette. Like I said, this is not where Pratt Miller should be. They should be half a second adrift of Sandy Mitchell up in front, but now they're all the way back in 8th, and they can't get past the Ray Hall Letterman McLaren, so they're really struggling here. I was saying at the beginning of this race, I was like, this is going to be a really difficult one for getting overtakes done, and we're seeing it. We saw it in GTD with how long it took Tom Gamble, and still we haven't seen the Windward team, get past Turner Motorsports. They're still behind, and they're behind by 4 seconds. So it's just, overtaking here is incredibly difficult, and it's just got to get timed correctly if those moves want to be done. And Corvette and the number 4, if they want any chance to hold on for the championship fight, they got to hurry up, giddy up, get past this McLaren, and go after the BMW. If these two start flipping each other off for P6 and P7, I'll be laughing my ass off. I really hope that's the case. But right now, I thought this was working perfectly for AL Racing, but they decided to go long, and now they're 10 seconds adrift of De Filippi and Milner. I'm really gobsmacked at what they're going for on strategy here. It's gotta be for the long haul. It really, really does, because like I said, the offset strategy might be the only thing that saves them here. I just don't know exactly how that's gonna work. Excuse me. And now that moves the Mustangs into 2nd and 4th. It's been a quiet race, so I haven't really, there's not been a lot to talk about, but so far, this is looking like this, if it finishes the way to finish, this is the best weekend the Mustangs ever had, as a team. Because I don't think they've had 2 cars in the top 5 at all this whole year. Maybe they've had a 3rd and 5th somewhere. I don't think so. But this has been really, really good for this team. And so, yeah, right now, we'll have to wait exactly to see what goes on with Ford, but yeah, it's looking really, really darn good for that. Again, we will have to wait and see what happens to these Fords, because it's usually the back half of the race where it starts to fall apart, and we're coming up to around halfway through this race. We are 2 hours and 40 at the start. We're coming up to 1 hours and 20, so we are about halfway through. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of a fun battle to the end, but right now, this is looking like a lights to flag victory for the number 9 Temerario, if they're able to hold on to it. If they can go back-to-back, it will be the first time in their career they've ever done so, and it'll be a great way for them to end their time in IMSA, as once again, they will be leaving at the end of this year. Gap is 7.3 seconds between the two of them, so that gap is it's actually just been maintained, I think. Last lap, a 148.498. Last lap, a 148.389. So a 1/10 of a second faster for Barker and then Mitchell in the last lap. The gaps are staying the same. And unless we get a safety car that will bunch it up, I really don't see how these Fords can go up against a Temerario. The car is just absolutely flying right now. So we'll have to wait for right now. Only 1 car out of the race. We've only done 38 laps. We had 1 caution for 6 laps right at the beginning when the number 3 Pratt Miller Corvette got sent into the wall by Rexy. Though I will say it's probably more of a racing incident than anything else. But still, very, very interesting to say the least. Tom Gamble has been slowly but surely moving down. And now, here we go. So Milner has gone past Johnson in the Rahal Letterman car and has now moved up into P7. Now we'll be seeing the 1 and the 4 going after each other. The Corvette versus BMW. Everyone's favorite battle in GTD. We'll be hopefully seeing those guys go after it. But again, Nick Tandy is 10 seconds adrift up in last, unless he's going to try and clear air to go after it. I'm really not sure if that will happen, because right now he's doing 148.5s, while the rest of the field, they're doing 148.0. So he's kind of matching the leaders, but it doesn't really matter when everyone's kind of doing the same spot. There's no one, kind of the whole field in GTD are in the 48s and in the mid 48s. No one's really gaining on each other right now. It's incredible. It's just a one big old stalemate right now. As we are officially under halfway through this race now. We just passed the 1 hour 20 mark. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning so goddamn much. This race isn't, this race is a little bit boring. But it shouldn't be this boring to have me yawning. So I'm sorry, Chatter, you keep seeing me boring all the way. Are there some Huracan Evo 2 GT Racing? Are there only Temerario? There is a Huracan GT3, and it's in the lead in GTD Pro. The 45 driven by Wayne Taylor Racing. That's a Huracan. And they're still out, still racing, and it looks like they're going to go for their second win of the year if they can hold on to it. It's right. Wow, why am I? It's just not clicked in my head. Lamborghini is just dominating this weekend in both GTD Pro and in GTD with both the old and the new car. Which I don't know what that says about the bot. You know what I mean, chat? You know, because like imagine if the RCF was still racing next year in WEC while the GT was racing. Imagine that car winning in both races. Like, for PR, like, I don't know how, like, if that's a good thing or not. You know? Especially if the old car wins and the new car doesn't. Like, especially when they want to be, when WTR won at Laguna, it was everyone was kind of laughing at the Temerarios and FAF because they're like, wow, the Huracan's better. Which, at that point, it was. But right now, Temerario in the last few races, it's finally come alive, and it's winning everywhere. It's won not just here in IMSA. Okay. It won at Oschersleben in DTM, but sadly, that result got taken away from them due to a technical infringement. So the only wins is from FAF Motorsports in the GTD Pro car. But it's been proven that it can win on pace in Europe as well. So good future for that car a little bit later. So yeah, we'll exactly have to see what's going on. Much prefer the way the leaderboard is done here with the OA results versus PCAC one. Yeah, I do like the official IMSA stream is a lot better for their graphics. I do like it a lot better than the NBC stuff. Especially I love NBC. It's just we're not really getting it. But what we are getting is a possible top 3 battle for the last podium spot in GTD Pro. Vervich in the 65 car, getting on the back bumper of Hasse Klott in the Aston Martin. This will be great for Carte Blanche if they can get their first ever podium in GTD Pro. But they got to work for it with the Mustangs right behind. Like I said, great weekend so far for the Mustangs to be 2nd and 4th on pace. Okay. Pace and a little bit of luck. Because like I said, Tommy Milner should not be down in 7th right now. That should not be happening. But he is. And Mustangs are going to take advantage of it. And they're doing a really good job here. This is so far, if it continues the way it's going, as a team effort, this has been their best weekend of the year. And if they can get a 65, and if they can double podium, then that will definitely seal the deal on them being their best. As they make their way through turns 5 and 6, and now going through the tight twisties as they make their way up the hill towards Oak Tree Bend. They have another Mustang. There's actually 3 Mustangs in shot. We got 2 GTD Mustangs, the 66 and the 16, and then the number 65 right in the back bumper, trying to move up into the final podium spot. If we can get a double Ford podium, I won't complain. I love my Mustangs, but this will be a good, nice result for them. If they don't really get anything out of this year, I will still call it a disappointing result. But I'll still go like, hey, at least they got a good result at VIR. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. Again, there's still an hour and 15 minutes in this race. A lot can change around here to see exactly what can happen. But the main thing that I will have and I want to see is that, yeah, we're kind of just holding on to a slow one here for the moment. All quiet before the storm, hopefully. That's exactly what we're looking for if that's the case. Can I post this on my own story? Nope. Actually, I can. But yeah, it's looking really, really interesting right now. Also, it's kind of, I bet you most people aren't watching this race because there's a very interesting race going on in Washington, D.C. right now, which, certain someone's waving the green flag, and I don't really want to see it, you know? So we'll see exactly what's going on with that race a little bit later. I'll be looking at that a little bit later on my own sense. Wow, he didn't even wave the flag from the start position. Sorry, I just saw the clip of what happened as there was almost a crazy crash into turn one. But anyways, I should be doing my job watching this goddamn live stream and watching this race. But that is probably why we only have 14 people in chat. And yeah, there's only 8,600 people watching the official live stream as of right now. So not a lot going on. But it's looking really good here. As look at this. So now gap is 1.4 seconds between Tom Gamble and Hindman. The Heart of Racing is starting to really close in, and they need this result. Like I said, like Alice with Windward getting back-to-back wins, they gotta stop the bleeding here. They're still in the lead of the championship fight, and they are by a good amount of margin. I think it's around 30 points, but they gotta lock on in pretty hard here if they want to keep that championship fight. And with the way things are going, and now again they're going to go after the number 3 or number 4 Corvette. This is great for Heart of Racing. This is not good for Pratt Miller, who's trying to go after the BMW up in front, but they can't do it when they have this Aston Martin hounding them up the inside. Goes the Heart of Racing car again. Oh, he goes up the inside, but goes a little bit wide, and wow, really loose from the Corvette, getting a lot of oversteer on exit there. As Tom Gamble is flickering at him, he's like, bro, I'm in the faster car, get out the way. But he's in the GTD Pro car. He's going to have that mindset of like, well, you're in the GTD. I'm not going to let it happen. Here's what, as they run, so Verhagen's still in the lead of the championship, 23 points ahead of the number 4 Corvette, and 46. Wow. So look at this, actually. If it holds on the way, this is a 4-way battle for the championship because Pfaff Motorsports is officially in this title fight. Now, they're 46 points behind and Harry King 47. So, of course, these 3 cars, they need to giddy up and move up the way. But it's crazy that the top 3 in our championship in GTD Pro they're just having bad races. All 3 of them are having bad races right now, and Pfaff is taking advantage, and I don't know what's going to happen for the remainder of this race. I don't want to knock on wood. I am going to knock on wood. But I am really interested to see on whether or not this could be something that maybe Pfaff can build on. There might be a championship at stake here for GTD Pro. If we have a 4-way title fight, that would be awesome. But this could be really good. Sorry, I'm just hearing what they're saying. The guys on the IMSA broadcast are saying the same thing as me. This is massive for Pfaff if they can go back-to-back wins. And yeah, they're now in contention for the championship if so, which is just awesome to see. They really haven't had a championship fight, I don't think, ever in any of their in their history. So if they can get like really close here for a championship fight, this will be awesome in their final ever year. Two cars in the championship are not going to be racing next year. Paul Miller and Pfaff. The state of IMSA is not looking good, folks. I've always said this. I feel like I'm going to be entering into the dark ages here soon, and I feel like it's starting to happen as we're starting to see some top teams start to get away, and we'll be seeing some gentrification going on. And yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not, but I'm a diehard racing fan. I'm a stick on through with the sport I love. But it's just gonna suck seeing everyone. We're seeing some energy here. Tom Gamble 30%. That's the first energy stat I have seen all weekend long for the IMSA cars. So great to see that that's happening. Oh, look at this. This is the 96 car going a little bit wide. And Rexy is flashing his lights. But now this puts Philip Ellis, in the number 57 Wimware car, slowly but surely coming after Nick Foley, which any way that he can put a stop to the bleeding in that championship fight, because he is losing right now to Tom Gamble. If he can get another position to minimize the points loss, that'll be as best case scenario for Windward right now. If they can get in front of the Turner Motorsports car, but they got some work to do because they have a green Porsche in the way. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on with those guys.
as we have under 1 hour and 10 minutes remaining in this race. It is still Mitchell up in front in the Pfaff Motorsports Temerario by 7.6 seconds. They've been holding on to that 7.5 second gap for the last 5 laps now. It's looking really, really good. Also, Barker has gone 7 seconds away from Hasse Klott and Vervich in the 68 and the 65. So, great driving from the second place Mustang to not only hold on to that gap, but pull away. Looking really, really good. And again, people on the IMSA broadcast, I think they're listening to what I'm saying because they're talking about the same things. They're saying, hey, Russell Ward, he's got to get around Rexy right now if he wants any chance to get into the top 3 to stop the bleeding in the championship fight because, yeah, he's losing points right now quite a bit. And if he can get within 1 position instead of 2, that's going to be about best case scenario. But we've been all clean so far outside of that 66 Proton car having a tire issue on the final corner and the number 3 Corvette fucking exploding on lap 1. Nothing has really happened so far into this race outside of that big shunt. So hopefully it's all quiet on the Western Front and all quiet before the storm. Because I would like to see some action here on the back half of this race. Because we are coming up to an hour and 40 in. And it's been a bit of a snoozer so far. But again, looking really good for Pfaff Motorsports up in front. Very much helps that Tommy Milner's door handle actuator decided it did not want to work in that moment. So, yippee! Let's go, Canadian team that won't be here next year. Like, it sucks. This is so bittersweet because it's like, this is great, but they won't be here for much longer. Won't be here much longer whatsoever. So, again, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the future of the team. But it's currently not looking all too good with them right now. And I understand as well, because we only have 5 people in chat. This is a dead fucking stream. And that's okay, because it's a dead race, dead stream, doing the same thing. I'm actually curious now to see if there's any other watch parties for VIR. I don't think there is, but you never know. Yeah, we are the only live watch party currently, at least on YouTube. There might be one on Twitch somewhere, but yeah, we're the only one on YouTube right now. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting what's going on with viewership and stuff. That's also been an issue with our YouTube channel. We've been going through, we had like 5 videos in a row that Jonah and I were working on that just could not get 1,000 views for some reason. It's really weird with what's going on with the YouTube algorithm. I think we're going to try to make a post pretty soon to let people know, like, hey, if you're not getting notifications, let us know because, or sorry, let me rephrase that. If you're not getting notifications, don't let us know. Do something about it. Unsubscribe, resubscribe, reset your bell notifications icon so that you can get them because clearly people aren't watching our videos and it's really bizarre. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going on. I know there's a few people here that are sticking around, which is nice, and I do appreciate the 8 of y'all that are sticking around. Y'all are real ones. I appreciate that. But yeah, just it's definitely a quieter round compared to others. This has definitely been the smallest live stream field that we've had for a race weekend. So, which is, hey, not as much as like GT3s only are awesome. It's not surprising that people don't want to watch, like people who are hypercar fans, they don't want to watch GT3s. Like I get it, but at the same time, GT3s are dope. But also at the same time, it's been a bit of a quiet race. So yeah, it's this. Yeah, here we are. Welcome to IMSA, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, there was some really there's some great racing outside of with sports cars, just not here. Super GT was at Suzuka, and they were racing very early this morning. I was not getting up for that. But it's always awesome seeing those preludes to Supras, the Nissans going at it. Really fun to see those cars. Really great cars. Wow, this is interesting as well. So right now, Nick Foley and Patrick Gallagher in the 96, they're actually ahead of Russell Ward in the championship. So now we got a bit of a three-way fight for the championship standings. I've been talking about Ellis and Ward being there, but wow, Patrick Gallagher and Nick Foley, they're now officially in it. Meanwhile, a little bit in the background, we got a battle for P6 and 7th between Peterson. I think that's Peterson. It's not Pedersen. Not like Vancouver Canucks legend Elias Pettersson. If y'all know, you know. But Peterson in the number 12 Vassar Sullivan car. He's getting hounded by Robert Wickens in the DXDT car. Gaps under half a second. As we're finally seeing a bit of battling out on track as these guys are starting to stop with their saving. They want to get some track position, and it'll be great to see a good result out of the DXDT car if they're able to get it. Wow, look at him bumping the Lexus out of the way. That's a bit of a NASCAR bump and run through there. He moves him a little bit loose, but Tellis is going to fight this one back into turn 3, sends it deep up the inside. Does he go a little bit wide? No, he's able to hold on to it. He gets, again, looks up the inside, gets a little bit loose on exit. Woohoo, getting a little squirrely. This might be a battle for 6th and 7th in GTD. Not even in the main class, but still a great little battle. As these two are holding on for dear life. Look at who's that in the background. It's a Dragon Speed car, the 81. He's 6 laps down after starting from pole, having a mechanical issue on the first lap. So I think they're done and dusted. Yeah, very much a shame. I like watching cars you can actually recognize what it is. That's funny. That's fair. I mean, hey, you know that's a Corvette. You know it's a BMW. Like, you know that these are just like street car variants, which is always funny. But wow. So here it comes into the pits. Milner, he is done being behind DeFilippi and Gamble in the 27. He's going to go in for his first stop. That is the second stop. Again, this is an off-field strategy. I think, like they said, they know their goal here. They're not winning. Their goal is to beat their championship contenders in DeFilippi and Tandy. The problem is that after this race, they got a new championship contender, being Mitchell and Calderetti in the FAF Motorsports car. So when they go to Indianapolis, they got to worry about 3 cars now instead of 2 as they go in for a stop. And they're keeping the car in. They do not want to mess with that door handle one bit. Are they going to fill all the way up to 100%? Nope, to 89% they're going to go on energy. So that should be right to the end. So I think that will be their final stop. Tellett in the number 12 car going for a driver swap as well. So they're done in from the pits. Same with Wickens in the 36. So DXDT and Vassar Sullivan, who were having a great little battle. That was, I guess, the last lap of that battle, going in and out of the pit lane. Now, DXDT gets a little bit better of a stop, I guess. Wow, I think they might be able to beat the Lexus here, unless they're in a different part of the pit lane. This is going to be close. Out he comes, and he does beat him. So, DXDT able to get a better stop, and now passes them. And in from the lead comes Sandy Mitchell and FAF Motorsports. They got to nail this stop. They have such a great advantage. They got to have a clean stop here. Everything's looking good so far. Left side tires come off. No driver change whatsoever. Do they do the right sides? They will. So it's a full tire stop plus fuel. It's all looking good here for FAF Motorsports. Please have a good stop. Hasse Klott, Hawksworth, DeFilippi also into the pits. Nick Foley in the 96. Everyone's into the pits now. The time is now to get it. So we got a Ford 1-2 up in front. Nick Tandy in the 77 car is moving up in the 3rd. But this is a big thing, though. They got to take advantage of this track position and overcut everyone to hold on and maybe move up a little bit more. Because, again, I did not like how long they went on that first stop. I did not like it. And it might cause some issues. Out of the pits now comes Mitchell. And I think they're going to be in 4th. So it's looking pretty good. Jack Hawksworth in the 14 comes out of the pits. No problems whatsoever. Hasse Klott and DeFilippi all clean so far as well. So Johnson moves ahead. Hawksworth in 7th. DeFilippi in 8th. Milner in 9th. I think that's actually changed. I think Hawksworth is behind Milner. Yes, we see that car up in front. Andrew Wright, the Wright Motorsports car, in the 120. They've been incredibly quiet all weekend long. They've pretty much done nothing for this race weekend. So they are, yeah, quiet weekend once again. Just looking to finish as Callum Ilott is currently in the car. In and out of the pit lane, they will be coming. But right now, so Tandy's up in the 30s, 32 seconds of drift from the two Fords. Gap from first to fourth is 46.2. So with exactly the total, I think the total amount of time they're in the pit lane for is around a minute. So 65 is now going to the pit lane. They're going to extend here. I don't know about this. I don't know. Now, into the lead, or into the pits from the lead, comes the WTR Lamborghini, the Heart of Racing Aston Martin, and Russell Ward, or Winward, and Philip Ellis in the Mercedes. Same with the Inception Racing of Schrandorf in the Ferrari as well. So Nick Foley was the first one to go in the 96. So we'll see exactly what happens here for the pit stop. But he's smoking in the front here. The Huracan still in the pit lane, but now comes out. We got to see lots of tire screeching out of that corner. And hopefully he's able to hold on. It's going to be really close with Tom Gamble. Oh, we're going to get a battle out of the pit lane. He's right on the back bumper as they make out of the pit lane. The battle for GTD is officially on with 57 minutes remaining. The Lamborghini trying to warm up his tires as fast as he can. And now, let's see what happens. Because if this WTR can hold on, this is going to help the Windward car of Philip Ellis. As wow, look at this. They're matching on pit stops. They're so close. Moving out of turn number 3. Heart of Racing looking this way and that way, but they will not let him pass. Why are you showing a replay here during this battle? It was a slow driver stop. They lost about 7/10. Exactly what that's for, I don't know. I don't see anything out of Vanessa's order. Maybe they lost some time of getting the driver out, but the Lamborghini's just going to hold on. Oh, we got a race. We got a race for the win in GTD. Now the question is, what's going to look like in GTD Pro? Into the pits come Ben Barker in the 64 Mustang. They got to absolutely nail the stop if they want any chance of doing it. They got their fuel in. They've done their tires. They will get passed by Nick Tandy. So Nick Tandy goes into the lead. They will be stopping a little bit later. Gap is 52. They come out of the pits. This is going to be really close. Let's see where the Pfaff Motorsports car is. There it is. And he will get past. Wow, that was close. So Andrea Calderetti and Sam Mitchell can take a big, deep breath because they were able to just barely hold on, and I think that's going to be around a 5-second gap. That'll probably go to around 7 seconds to where we saw originally before the pit stop cycle happened. So wow, Pfaff Motorsports have played this to perfection, and now they just got to cruise on their way home to get this win, to go back-to-back for the first time ever in their careers, and to get themselves into top 3 in the championship fight and start that championship fight. This is going to be really interesting with what happens. Now, gap is 20 seconds between Nick Tandy and Mitchell. He will end up in last. I think he will go in the last. So, like I said, the AO cars, okay, they've all done their pit stops. Get them in. Stop the bleeding. Don't be allowing this. But look at this. We got to move for the lead. And Tom Gamble has gone past Andy Formal into the lead for GTD. Our leader in the GTD Championship has now moved past IMSA broadcasters. If you are listening to this, you need to fire your producer and get a new one, because I'm sick and tired of seeing battles for the lead being missed. It happened at Road America, and it's happened at Mosport. It's happened at so many races, and now again, when the main battle that we should be watching for is we should be watching this battle. We should be having all of eyes glued and focusing on this battle, but nope, we're watching an onboard. What was the onboard on? What were we watching? We were watching the onboard of the 64 Mustang in third for no reason, for absolutely no reason. So, great job, IMSA. there's my once a live stream rant on the IMSA production team. God damn it. So yeah, we could have saw a great little battle. I guess they got him in the turn one, but unless we see a replay, we won't know. And now they're just showing like, God damn it. This is so frustrating to me. And again, they're just showing the 64 Mustang for no reason here. This is just ridiculously frustrating. So, Gamble has gone by. He's gone into the lead. He's passed Formal. What was looking to be a clean sweep for Lamborghini, I think, has now officially come to an end, as Gamble has made the move onto Formal. But now the question is how long can he hold on to there? He's definitely been the fastest car here for a fact. And you can tell that the production team is fucking bored, because why are they zooming in on the Michelin man? I love the Michelin man. He's a great human being. But, like, we have a race on our hands. Let's show stuff from the race. I don't want to see billboards. God, what is going on with the camera? Like, actually, this is dude, this is bad. This is I wish y'all could see what I'm seeing right now. But into the lead comes Nick Tandy. Finally, something that makes sense that we can watch. Into the lead now, or into the pits from the lead comes Nick Tandy. He will go down to last, unless you're able to have a really short stop here. I know IMSA does check in here sometimes, and I will tell IMSA to their face, do something about this. I love IMSA, and they love us back, but it's like, god damn, bro, it's so frustrating as, like, commentating for you guys, because I want to give as much information to you guys as I can, but when they're just showing an onboard of a car that doesn't matter, now, Travis Barker doesn't, or Ben Barker does matter in this battle, but when nothing's happening with them, and there's a whole ass battle for the lead in GTD, I don't know. I think you should be focusing on that battle in GTD. I think it's ridiculous. But anyways, now, out of the pit lane, wow, so they just got passed by the Corvette of Milner up into turn one. So that's going to be big. They are in front of Barnacote in the 14 and D. Filippi. So wow. So Paul and Miller, they're just having bad stops after bad stops. They're just really bad at the end of their sitting and at the beginning because they're just losing so much time. And now they're behind both Milner and Tandy. So we'll have to see if Tandy can maybe go past Milner here and help out with the championship fight. But up in front, Tom Gamble is the leader in GTD. Danny Formal within a second, but 3 seconds behind is the Windward cars, number 57. Yeah, even I agree. The TV director's done with this race. But it's like, why? Okay, now we're going to see the replay of what happened. So the 45 WTR made a mistake. He got a little bit loose on exit through turn number 3. And the Honda Racing car just said, thank you very much, and moved up into the lead. So now, okay, a little bit more excusable from the TV director to miss it because it just kind of just happened. There wasn't really a battle. But still, man, oh man, I wish we could have saw that a little bit live. But that was the battle for the race. And Danny Formal, he's now nowhere. He's a second off the pace. He's not really holding on to anything. Yeah, at least it's been green. This has been like Mosport. It's been a clean race. It's funny. We have Mosport. Right now, it's kind of on and off. Watkins Glen was chaotic. Then we have Mosport. It was Green Flag Racing. Then Road America was chaotic. And then we have Green Flag Racing here at VIR. I think I don't want Green Flag Racing for all of Road Atlanta. That would suck. For final race of the year, 10-hour race, that would suck. But for Indy, though, having a chaotic race at Indy would be something. In spite of the layout. I'm not a big fan of the layout. That's for another day. Up in front, we're officially coming up to 50 minutes remaining. And Heart of Racing. Man, oh man. This is... They even if they somehow lose it to Windward, they are deserving of the championship this year. They've been so consistent and so fast throughout this entire race weekend and this entire year. It's just been so good for them. And now you can see they're starting to pull a gap on that Huracan. The question, though, is can the Mercedes find a little extra in its back pocket and go for the win here? I'm not 100% sure, but we will have to wait and see. As Barnacote something has happened to Barnicoat because he's gone behind the BMW. He's got a lot of grass up on his front grille. I think he went wide into one of the corners, has taken a trip into the grass. Again, TV director hasn't shown the live version. We'll have to see the replay. But there's a bunch of grass in his front diffuser and in his front splitter. So he's lost a few positions, and now he's last in GTD Pro. And now the top three in the championship, well, three of the top four in the championship, Sandy Mitchell's now in third, but the top three in the championship are now 6th, 7th, and 8th. So, wow, this is just interesting stuff here. Yeah, we'll have to see a replay and look at the front splitter, the whole front, because you guys know when they do pit stops, they can take the whole front panel off. That's starting to wobble around. You can see that it's loose. They definitely got some damage there. As they went off. They 100% went off. Where they went off, though, that is the question. They definitely did some lawn mowing. They're not the only person, sports car related, to do lawn mowing, as someone else in our chat did some lawn. It was Baja who was doing some mowing of the lawns. Shout out to him. But yeah, that's not it. This has been a race weekend to forget for Vassar Sullivan. When they've been on such great form as well from, walk-in, small sport. It was falling off a little bit at Road America, but this is just falling off of a cliff. Just nowhere here for the race. So, big shame for them. And now we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. Oh, what the hell? He just pulled off and stopped. What the hell? What? Huh? That is, I have been racing online for about 15 years. I've been watching racing for 10 years. I have never seen what I've just saw. On the exit of Oak Tree, he just pulled off to the right, slammed on the brakes, came to a full stop, and it just kept going. I don't know if that was him trying to get some grass out of the car. That might actually be exactly what that was. That was weird. So here's a replay of what happened. So he was going wheel to wheel with the AO car, and Rexy just banged him out of the way. Wow. So as they were fighting for position, Rexy just forced him wide as he's trying to go for an exit. Yeah, that might be something that the stewards will have to look at for AO. As this is... they're going to get a penalty for this. So a little bit ahead, we kind of miss it. But AO was doing some bad defending on the BMW, forced the BMW wide. The Vassar Sullivan goes up the inside. This is into turn 3. And then into turn 4, the second left-hander, Rexy just forces. That's a bad move. That's a bad move from Harry King. I mean, knowing IMSA, knowing IMSA and their consistency. Yeah, you see all the grass coming off the car there, so it definitely helped. But that is... if AO doesn't get investigated for that, I'll be shocked, because that seemed like a desperate trying to get a move back and then causing someone... Now, they didn't crash, but they forced him off wide. Like, that's... I don't know. I don't know about that. That's an interesting one, to say the least. I don't know if you guys in chat actually saw it. Hip tosses that. Speaking of grass, that motor's about to get super hot. That's probably why they stopped, was to get some grass out of the motor, because it's just not getting air. And I think that's worked, because the grass, I mean, it's definitely still there, but it's not messing him up as much as I thought. And look at this. Now we got a battle for second place. What on earth is happening to Lamborghini? He almost forced. Oh, they touch. Going into the fastest corner on the track. My God. Danny Formal and Philip Ellis almost has had the match the biggest crash of the race with lap 1. I think Formal had a horrible exit out of the last corner, and there was a drag race there between Philip Ellis and Danny Formal. Almost forced Ellis wide into the grass, and they touched entering into the braking zone. My God, you two. That was really, really close. Now, Robbie Foley might try to slowly but surely come onto the back bumper, but I think we officially have a battle here for second place. Tom Gamble up in front. Gap is 2.5 seconds. I don't think they're going to go. And there we go. A drive-through penalty for Nick Tandy in the 77. Massive championship implications and incident responsibility with car 14 deserved. You saw what you'll see in the replay eventually about what happened. You saw how aggressive he was defending with the BMW. He was overly aggressive trying to move back up into the position. That is the right penalty. So good on IMSA for doing that. But man, that changes everything. So AO now, because they will be finishing last. They will be finishing last. I don't think they're out of the championship hunt, but it's still a three-way battle with Paul Miller Racing and Pratt Miller. But there's a new contender to that, and that is Pfaff Motorsports and the Temerario, if they're able to hold on to this lead. By the way, gap is 3.5 seconds between Barker and Mitchell, so I think has either been staying the same or slowly coming down. Last lap, Temerario was faster, so maybe not. But it's interesting to say the least. We'll have to wait and see. But maybe but right now, Ford's still holding on the second and fourth. We got a McLaren in the top 3. So this is a great result for them if they're able to hold on to it. But yeah, into the pits goes Nick Tandy. Just not the day of days for the 77. Not a day of days for any of the championship contenders. It's been bad for Milner, for Di Filippi, but it's been absolutely worse for AO. And I know we got a few AO fans here in the chat who are probably going to be a little bit disappointed. And I don't blame them. A little bit of overly aggressive driving. You get what you drive for. And that's kind of what's happened right now. As now we see with the GTD battle, Tom Gamble and Heart of Racing. Gap is 3.1 seconds up in front. It's getting farther and farther ahead for the 27 machine. They're looking really good here for a race win. I don't think that Aston Martin will have any mechanical issues that we have to worry about. It's been looking really good for them all weekend long. The question becomes, will we see if Ellis gets past Forbow, will he make a stab at Gamble? My God, I don't know why I'm so stuffed up today. It's really, really weird. But again, we're going to see another attempt from Windward and Philip Ellis on the Huracan. He's got a great exit out of Oak Tree Bend. Let's see what that will be coming up the hill. I don't think he's got the pace to look out there. No, he doesn't. That's the problem with the Mercedes. It just doesn't have the straight line speed compared to anyone. Not the Aston, not the BMW, and not the Lamborghini. It's one of the slowest cars on straight line speed. And we're really seeing that effect in the slipstream because it doesn't matter how good of an exit they get. They just can't get any overtake by. They really got to force a mistake out of the car. As what? No! Drive through for Danny Formal in the 45, moving in reaction without racing room on the 57. Now, I watched that. That was close. But a drive through? IMSA. What? That wasn't that bad. Oh, dude. Well, there goes that battle. Lovely. So, Russell Warren will now move up in the second. So, wow. That's crazy. Sure that it was kind of like, it should be under review. I would give a warning. I mean, we'll have to see the replay. Again, we saw a little bit out of it. It was really close. That could have been a big crash. But like, a drive-through, not even a 5-second penalty, a drive-through? That is such a shame for WTR and Lambo. That is bad. So that will move Ellis in the second, Nick Foley into third, Costa in the 34 into fourth. Jeez, I don't know how I feel about this chat. I'm not the big... Again, I gotta see the replay, because maybe there was more of that I didn't see, but, like, it was aggressive, sure. You didn't give him all the room in the world, but, like, a drive-through penalty for that. Okay. I guess. I guess. As a Max Verstappen and AO fan, this weekend has really been great for me. Yeah, it has. It probably has. But into the pits from second, which I thought could have been the win, is WTR and Danny Form. That is such a shame. That wow. Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, chat. I really don't. Yeah, of course, Baja, I absolutely agree. Some drive-throughs are worse than others, but this is definitely one of the most questionable ones that I've seen. I would definitely to review it. Makes sense to me. I would get that's a warning. He didn't lose time because of it. He didn't have any damage because of it. Nothing really happened. So I don't really know, but. Man, oh man. Again, we're seeing a replay here of why Nick Tandy got a drive-through. This makes sense. This as a drive-through makes sense. You're being overly aggressive on defense with the one BMW. Someone passes you, and then you just make a dumb move to go for it. So, again, here's a replay of what happened. So, Porsche defending, moving him a little wide. This is all clean so far. He moves up wide. The BMW gets a great run, moves up past. The Porsche does some defending here. Actually runs into the BMW. Vassar Sullivan moves up the inside. Goes a little bit wide. And then Nick Tandy just sends it up the inside. That's just a bad move. And he loses time here. He loses track position and time here. So as a drive-through, that makes sense. Can we see the replay? They're just not going to show the replay for that. God damn it, IMSA. We've already seen the replay once of GTD Pro. I don't need to see it again. Show the GTD replay. Please. Race director, please. Here's the thing, though, is that intention or not, a bad move's a bad move. It doesn't, good intentions made the road to hell even in racing, guys. So, when you make a mistake will lead to a penalty. Even, it's his fault. So, regardless of intention or not, a drive-through is going to be handed. Again, I gotta see a replay of the Huracan, because I really don't think it was that bad. It was bad, sure. And by the way, I'm a Windward fan. If there's one team in GTD that I always want to win, it's Windward. That happened to my drivers. And I'm telling y'all that I don't think it's that bad. So, a warning, sure. But a drive-through, I don't know. But now, because he's out of the way, the gap is 1.6 seconds between Gamble and Ellis. So, that gap was 3 seconds. It's come another 1.5. I'm going to look at it. Wow, so yeah, he is really cashing. Last lap was a 147.4. It was a 148.0 for Tom Gamble. So, okay, you know what? Maybe it was some bullshit maybe it was some BS that we saw with the Huracan getting out, but it might be for a benefit a little bit later on, because we might have a battle for GTD. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Up in front of GTD Pro, though, unless we see, knock on wood, lap traffic or mechanical failure for the Lamborghini, it's looking really good for them to go back to back. And the gap's up to they've put another half a second on Ben Barker and the Ford Mustang group, as that gap's now 4 seconds between Mitchell and Barker. So it's looking really, really good up in front. But now, the main battle out on track is going to be between the two title contenders in GTD. Heart of Racing in the 27 and Windward Racing in the 57. The two Seveners are going at it. So, yeah, we got to wait and see exactly what's going to go on with this battle. But that's the only battle we got out on track. I mean, we got Wickens and Tellitz are around 9/10 of a second between each other. We got a second between Nick Foley and Costa in the 96 and the 34. We got a second between Milner and DeFilippi, but that's about it. Nothing else is really happening. But yeah, wow, 1.3 seconds was gained about a lap and a half ago between Philip Ellis and Tom Gamble. Now, here's a strategy that you might see stuff like this. If you see stuff like this, where you see gaps closing, you might think like, oh, he's really catching them. Sometimes that is the case, but for Heart of Racing and Tom Gamble, they're not dumb. What this could very well be, and you'll see this a lot, is these teams will let the other team make their gap up, save tires until it's absolutely necessary. There's no point in Tom Gamble to really push this car right now because he's still got the gap. If it gets under a second and a half a second, that's when he can start to really push it. And we've already seen how difficult it is to pass around here. So even if he has the pace to catch him, it's one thing to catch him. It's another thing to pass him. So we'll have to wait and see how this battle plays out here in the last few minutes. We have been green flag racing pretty much since the first restart. It has been all clean so far. So any restart to bunch up the field, I'm not sure if that will happen. But it's definitely, if we go towards a yellow flag restart, I think Gamble might be able to. I'm not exactly sure how it will go, but we've already been seeing overtaking is very difficult. People are being desperate to get positions back and to take them because of how important track position he is here at this track. So we will have to. Gamble doesn't need to gamble. Preach. I say no more. Say no more. That's exactly what's got it going on. He will have to start gambling though, a little bit, if Ellis can drop that gap. But it's been staying around 1.5 seconds now. I don't know if maybe we'll see a little bit of improvement a little bit later. But up in front, Mitchell has been putting another 0.2 on Barker. Gap's now up to 4.1 seconds. It's just, like, we'll see what happens because we're coming up to half an hour within this race. But yeah, it's been a pretty quiet affair, all things considered. You are saying, Channel 53, you would like to see Mies get into that final podium spot? I would too. Well, I do want to talk about this. That final podium spot is like, I'd love to see both. Any of the cars, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I'd love to see on the podium. I'd like to see Carte Blanche get their first result. I'd also like to see Sorensen. Yeah, I'd like to see Carte Blanche get it. I would like to see Mies in the 65 get it. If we can get a double podium for Ford, that will be their best result of the year. I've said that a few times already. And yeah, seeing Johnson and Rail Letterman, they've been pretty unlucky this year. It'll be nice for them to get a podium and, yeah, get a good result. Meanwhile, this is a car I don't think I've had the chance to talk about in like 3 races. But the 13 Autosport car is up in the 7th. He's past DXDT. That's Matthew Bell in the car. That car has been just bad this year. Just very quiet, underperforming, not really doing all too much. But it's done something this weekend. It's moving up into closer and closer into the top 5 of GTD. So it's great to see that car is actually doing something. Oh, Merry Christmas. My goodness, I don't know why I'm so goddamn. I had a great sleep last night. I should not be yawning the way I am. But here I am, yawning the way I am. So, man, oh man, under 31 minutes ago. And Ellis is he's starting to get closer. That gap's now coming to around a second. I think we're going to get a battle for the win in GTD. And we got some traffic up ahead, some slower GTD Pro cars. These guys made some overtake on them and were able to pass them. So if they can do it again, man, oh man, that'll be great. And yeah, he did the kangaroo thing. I watched that race live and I picked that car to win the race. I don't know if you guys remember seeing the YouTube shorts that we posted on the FJ Endurance channel, but I was not happy. I was not happy about that. But that was when I was realizing like, oh, okay, maybe this car's just not that good. For this year at least, because it was so bad at Daytona. That was the second race it competed in that year, and it was just the first car out in the first like 10 minutes. And yeah, it was just poopy for Mustang, and it's been pretty poopy for the remainder of the year, except for this result. If they can somehow get a second and third outside of their Laguna win, this will be matching their best result of the year. So This will be very interesting to see later on into the race. But now we got a gap of under a second for the lead. The Mercedes versus Aston Martin, the two championship leaders. If Ellis can get past Gamble, that will be massive for the spirits and hopes of the Mercedes team. If they can get by, oh man, that'll be really good. We are officially half an hour remaining in this race. The gap for the lead is under half a second. A little bit of wing wobble from the Mercedes. I hope the struts are mounted all good. I hope that doesn't become an issue for Mercedes. But if you guys are watching the live stream, you might have to check that out. I do see that the car is just wobbling and wiggling a little bit. Yeah, a little interesting to say the least. That was the weirdest and grossest thing in a while. Yeah, some of the footage I saw of that was, yeah. Like, the fact that he, like, was just covered in deer mush because it broke the windshield and the whole inside of the car was just deer. That's just gross. That is gross. But this is really interesting if, like, what's about to happen. So the two leaders in GTD Pro are coming up. And I don't think this is, at least for my time watching, this has never happened. The leaders in the championship in GTD are hunting down the leaders in the championship in GTD Pro. Because the leaders in GTD Pro are having an absolute stinker, and the leaders in GTD are the fastest two cars out on the grid. This is weird. This is a weird one to see. And it'll be interesting to see what will happen and how these GTD Pro cars are going to react. Because, yeah, they're starting to flash the lights at Connor DeFilippi. They will have to give up a position here. And they don't want to because this is a championship fight. This is between Milner and DeFilippi. They don't want to do this. So this is looking like, oh, this is going to be really, really interesting. Apparently, we'll get a 60-point swing in the championship if Russell Ward is able to hold on. I think. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, the championship battle could very much change here very well if something does happen. Barker, gap 3.5 seconds. He's gained about half a second in the last few laps. I think we got to watch out for that 64 Mustang. If he can slowly but surely eat that gap down, I mean, time's starting to run out. He's got to really start to put the pedal to the metal of that Mustang if he wants any chance of going for the win. But slowly but surely, that time's starting to come down. Last lap, a 48.0. It was a 48.3 for Sandy Mitchell. So you can kind of say that it's kind of getting towards there, but not really sure. We'll have to wait and see. But Mitchell still holding on to the lead in GTD Pro. Gap is 3.4 seconds. We'll have to wait and see. We got Johnson in the Rahal Letterman McLaren in third. They're trying to go and either match or this will be their best result of the year. Let me very quickly confirm that stat. Yeah, no, this would be, they haven't even scored a top 5 this year, chat. Rahal Letterman has 0 top 5s this year, so this will be their first top 5. Finally, the fact that they haven't got one is absolutely ridiculous. They've been so good on race pace all year round. They've deserved this. But now, as we come towards the back, I think this battle in GTD is about to heat up because he's right on the back bumper as they come up the hill towards the challenge corners and down the hill that they will be going towards the last few corners. The championship battle in GTD Pro and the championship battle in GTD is right in our screen. And the slower cars are the GTD Pros. This is going to be really big for Gamble as he's now right on the back bumper. DeFilippi, he might try and go for an overtake here in the turn 1. If he does, that's going to be a massive cushion as he's going to look up the inside. Will there be an overtake there? No, he won't. He's going to get held up a little bit. That's great news for Russell Ward. But now DeFilippi, he's going to try to go for an overtake on Tommy Milner in the fourth, but he just can't go for it. This is awesome stuff to see the battle for the GTD Pro Championship and the GTD Championship all at the same time. If they can go for it here, man, oh man, chat, this will be absolutely something. Like I said, I have never seen this before in my life. To see that the higher class with the drivers that should be faster right now, they're not. The GTD cars are faster right now, and they're hounding them, and it's a 4-car train. This is as interesting as it gets. Because, yeah, like I said, if you're in the Paul Miller racing car, you do not want to let him by. He's not a lap down at all. This is 4-track position. And this works out so well as well for Russell Ward because he wants to get up, and Philip Ellis, sorry. It works so well for them. 44 points is the gap between Barrichello and Ward in the championship. But if he's able to get ahead of Barrichello, man, this changes things. Absolutely. We're under 25 minutes to go in this race. And the top 2 in the championship and the top 2 in this race are under half a second. They make their way through the final few corners at the top of the hill. Again, Gamble, the goal for Gamble is to get past that BMW, because if he can put any sort of gap, we saw it earlier when he had Nick Foley. So this is just a repeat of earlier in the race. We've literally seen this, but instead of the Turner car, now it's the Paul Miller car. So, oh, look at this. This is a really late move up the inside for Russell Ward. That was almost going to be an insane move if he got that done, but there's no move there just yet. Connor DeFilippi tried to go up the inside of Milner, but again, no move there just yet from either of them. Both of these cars, both Windward and Paul Miller, they want to giddy up and get out of here as soon as they can. Oh, he's looking up the inside again into turn 4, but no move there just yet for Philip Ellis. Oh, man, this is an insane battle for the lead. This is a rematch of Daytona between Heart of Racing and Windward. That was an incredible battle there. They crashed. They collided. The Mercedes went sideways at the top of the tri-oval at Daytona. So these guys have history when it comes to wheel-to-wheel battle, and they could come up right again. This is a big battle. Look at him. The 27 Heart of Racing taking a little bit of grass through there. He didn't lose a lot of time, but Russell Ward, why do I keep saying Russell Ward? Philip Ellis is looking to get a great run. Here they come out of turn 13. They need a banger if they want to get it. They're right on the back bumper of the Aston. This has been the closest he's been all weekend long. Will there be an overtake down into the board at the track? But no move there just yet. He's looking this way and that way. He's bumping now the Aston through the corner. He's telling him to giddy on up as he's trying to make his way for an overtake into turn 1. He's got to set himself up really good here if he can. But when you're behind in the dirty area, it's not going to be that easy. Out of the last corner we go and down towards turn 1. Turn 1 is the main overtaking opportunity, but also up the hill into that corner is also the other opportunity. But again, I think he's just a little bit too far back for an overtake. He looks at the inside, but again, no move there just yet, my friend. I'm going to bring up a track map so I can make sure. So yeah, roller coaster off of the back straight. Going into roller coaster is the move. Into turn 4 again, looking up the inside, but there's no move there just yet. But up in front, we're seeing 2 really important battles for not just the championship lead in GTD, but also the lead in GTD for the race, but also the championship lead in GTD Pro, because both of these cars are trying to do as much as they can to stop the bleeding, Milner and DeFilippi, but they're battling out on track, and we know what it's like when a Corvette and a BMW go at it. It's crazy. We also know what it's like when a Mercedes and an Aston go at it as well. The front engine cars are absolutely going at it here. And yeah, we are coming up to 20 minutes to go in this race, and we have a race on our hands, at least in GTD. Up in front of GTD Pro, Sam Mitchell in the 93 is ahead by 3.3 seconds. So Barker, another 2/10 taken off the back of Sam Mitchell. But again, time's running out for Barker in the 64 Mustang to go for any move. I just don't think it's going to happen. But what will happen with Philip Ellis? He's right on the back bumper coming up into roller coaster. But again, just a little bit too far back. The Mercedes straight line speed is the reason they haven't gotten this overtake done. That is a fact. They haven't had the straight line speed all weekend long. And if there's a saving grace for Aston Martin, it's that. It's that they're able to hold on through the straight line speed, even with the slipstream advantage from the Mercedes. They just got a little bit on power, and Windward Racing is just seething. Look at De Filippi. He's trying to look up the inside of Milner once again in that battle for 6th and 7th in class. But the more those two battle, the more that will be holding up the GTDs. This is as interesting as it gets. And up the inside into turn 3. That was a late move, but couldn't get it done from the Paul Miller car. Man, oh man, he is really trying to get past, but just can't find the opportunity here. We're getting some great racing here, you guys, within the last few minutes. I know it's not for the overall lead. Imagine if this was the GTD Pro lead. Like, these two were in the lead, the Corvette and the BMW, and then the GTD lead. That would have been mega to have both of the leaders right next to each other. That would have been so awesome. But man, oh man, we're coming up to around 18 minutes remaining in this race. Time's running out for Philip Ellis. But oh, look at this. This wasn't the good exit from Tom Gamble. This might be it. Here we go, out of the final corner. It was not a good exit from the Aston Martin. This is the best opportunity for Windward. He looks to the inside. It's going to be a drag race. Will this be the move for the race lead? I think it will be. Into the roller coaster. It's going to be a drag race, but will the Aston Martin force it? He will force it, and I think he's going to hold on to the inside. He does hold on to the inside. My goodness, Tom Gamble gets some balls on you and does as he holds on for dear life for that GTD lead. This is insanely good. And by the way, chat, we still have under 18 minutes to go. This is not over anytime soon. That was just easily the best opportunity for Windward to get that move. Gamble did not get the exit he was looking for. And now here comes De Filippi into turn 1. He's going to go the long way around the outside of Milner. And the more that these two battle, the more it will bunch up the pack. It will give another opportunity for Philip Ellis as he tries to go the long way around the outside and up the inside. He goes on the number 4 Corvette. And Connor De Filippi, does he get the move done? I don't think so. He's going to move it up the inside. How on earth are they not crashing the BMW and the Corvette? They're not even bumping. This is the cleanest racing I think I've ever seen between the BMW and the Corvette. And De Filippi moves up in the P6. That's massive for the championship fight and still holds on. But now, this is it. This is exactly what Tom Gamble was looking for. Into the S's and gets past Tommy Milner in the number 4. That is exactly what he was looking for. And that could be the race right there. Oh my God. Tom Campbell saw an opportunity and seized it. Got past the number 4 Corvette. And now Windward is behind. There's a whole car in between. He's flashing the lights. They're trying to get out of the way. But again, we know the Mercedes has no straight line speed. He will not get past the Corvette into the roller coaster. That's probably the race right there. Oh my goodness. He's going to try and clear. Actually, wow, the Corvette does. Wow, that was nice of the Corvette to allow him into the roller coaster to get by. Okay, so this race isn't done just yet, ladies and gentlemen. He was able to get past Milner, but now the gap, I think it's come back up to about a second. 16 minutes remaining in this race. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the line. It was half a second, but now it's 1.1, so he lost 0.6 because of Gamble getting past Milner. That is massive. I thought that might have been it, but I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it comes into another situation where Tom Gamble gets onto the rear of De Filippi, but just can't get past. Now the question, though, is because De Filippi, he's past Milner, he doesn't have to worry about holding up a car. Will he just let him by? I don't know. But up in front, as we come up to 15 minutes remaining, Mitchell has now put another half a second on Barker. So that gap was down to 3.4. It's now up to 4.1. So we got 7/10. 7/10 have been put in between him and Barker. It's looking very good for a back-to-back win for Pfaff Motorsports and to get back in to the championship fight. Very important stuff. We are officially under 15 minutes now. It's 14 minutes and 50 seconds remaining But yeah, no, I think Barker's out of this. And I also think that Mies is out of a shot for the podium. It's about a 5-second gap between Johnson and Mies. It's about 26 seconds away there. Yeah, we're looking at some lap times here. Last lap, yeah, Barker lost exactly 4 tenths. He was matching Mitchell the last few laps, but that one lap 74, I think has killed any shot or chance of the Mustang going after the Temerario. What a great car that Lamborghini is to now go back to back here. And so that we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen in the GTD battle. Because, yeah, Windward, they got to reset here and really try to go at it through it. And if it will be in the last 5 minutes of this race. Unless somehow a safety car comes on out. It's been green flag racing for pretty much the whole race outside of Alexander Sims having a massive shunt into the wall. So we will have to wait and see what happens with them. But man, it's looking really good for Mitchell up in front, and it's looking pretty good for Gamble here right now. If he's done a really good job of holding on to Ellis, he's gonna have to do it one more time again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have been all enjoying in the chat. I know this has definitely been our smallest stream, our live stream wise, but who cares? I appreciate you guys for also dealing with me and not having Jonah being here for the race. Jonah will not be here for Lone Star Le Mans. He will be at the track. And so I'll be trying to get alongside. I'll be helping out with him getting a qualifying report out and a race review out as well. He will be back for Indianapolis. I really hope. This is 2 races in a row now where he hasn't been here, so it'll be nice to have him back. So I appreciate you guys dealing with me and sticking up with me. And yeah, wow. I gotta say, it's been a bit of a stinker, this race. I was expecting a little bit more, but I'm glad that we got this little battle here in GTD, and it was kind of cool seeing the leaders of the championship in GTD Pro having a bit of an impact in that battle. But you can see the on person, well, you guys can't see, but I can see the actual gap between Mitchell and Barker, and it's around 4 seconds. And unless something major happens to that Lamborghini, which, by the way, that car has been insanely reliable all year round. It's been really good on reliability. That was the one thing that Lamborghini, that the FAF team reported about the car, especially at the beginning of the year, was like, it's very tight right now. Oh, sorry. Let me reset. I read chat and that just gave me a brain fart. The one thing that FAF has been talking about with this car, at least at the beginning of the year, they said it might not be fast, but it's damn reliable. And as soon as they figured out the performance, the reliability is definitely same with it. But look at this. Philip Ellis is right on the back bumper of Tom Gamble. It's under half a second again, and I think it's because of Connor DeFilippi holding up. But that's the thing that I said earlier, is I don't know now that Connor DeFilippi, he doesn't have to worry about Milner because it was a championship fight. Will the BMW make it a lot easier for the harder racing car to go for the overtake as we go down the back straight? Alice in the slipstream. But again, he's not gaining like at all. If he had like 3 kilometers an hour extra straight line speed, this he would have passed Gamble a few laps ago, and we wouldn't have had what we had. But here we are, and it's just he's taking as much curb as he can. This is going to be a great battle all the way to the end. We're coming up to we're just over 10 minutes remaining. We got 10 and a half minutes exactly as they come across the start finish line and into turn 1. They are really looking for that overtake, but they just can't find that opportunity. Will DeFilippi play into the hands here? Because I can't ignore him. I can't ignore him with everything that's going on here. Maybe Russell Ward might send it up here. No, he's just going to hold it off. Yeah, like I said, if DeFilippi just lets Gamble go by, if he catches up onto the back, then again, Alice is screwed here. He can't deal with anything. And you will not have enough time to gain that time back. So if it comes down to it, we will really, really have to see exactly what will happen. But man, oh man, this is going to be a great battle in GTD between the championship leaders. If they're able to keep it clean and keep it all contentious. But here we go. This is looking like, oh man, this might be a really good exit for Russell Ward or Philip Ellis. They are incredibly close on energy, 22% and 20% respectively. They will make it to the end. But man, oh man, it's looking insanely close. Down the back straight we go and up towards roller coaster. He's still in the slipstream, but again, he just doesn't have the straight line speed to get anywhere near. He's got to maximize on overtaking. He's got to force a mistake out of Gamble. Just like we said, we saw Gamble run wide on the exit, and that's how we saw them going wheel to wheel up towards roller coaster, and that's how Gamble was just able to barely hold on. And it also seems like Gamble is way better than Ellis through the last section of the corner. Whoa! Into the pit lane comes Johnson from the lead. And look at that! We're going to get a 4-2-3 here, ladies and gentlemen. So Johnson has entered into the pits to do a quick splash and dash. The question now becomes, will that happen with the other cars? I don't think so. Yeah, Johnson was at 3%. Barker's at 18. Everyone else is in the 18 to 20s. So look at that. Channel 53, you got what you wished for. You're going to get a Mustang. Both Mustangs are going to finish on the podium in GTD Pro if it finishes the way it does. So great job for Mustangs. But God damn it, Ray Hall Letterman. You cannot get a top 5 if you goddamn want to. This is unreal. They've been having a season from hell this year. I've been feeling so bad for them. And just their inability to get a top 5 while clearly having top 5 pace in almost all of the races. That is just such a shame for them. But great job for Ford to kind of luck in again into a all podium 2 and 3 for them so far. But again, what we're looking at here is the battle for the win in GTD. It's half a second between Gamble and Ward and Ellis. But Ellis, he's got to switch it up. He knows that getting it into the roller coaster is just almost impossible. But if he can get a good run out of the last corner into turn 1, that would also be a great chance. This is one of the closest he's been. But again, no straight line speed. He's actually losing out to the Aston Martin because the Aston Martin's in the slipstream with the BMW. Maybe this would be a little bit different. But look at him into this turn 1. He's practically bumping Gamble into turn 1. He's just trying to get all the way into his rearview mirror. He might send it up into turn 2 here. Well, he doesn't. He does send it up the inside. But does he go a little bit too wide? He's going to try to block it. He's going to try to force it into turn 4. Up the inside goes the Harder Racing car. They slam into the wall. Out goes wide. Goes Russell Ward. The stewards will have a look at that. They absolutely will. Harder Racing. They lost it and gained it again. But that's the moment of the race. For GTD, Ellis pushed wide, and again, just like we saw with the Vassar Sullivan car and AO Racing, a move and forcing wide will cause a penalty. We're going to look at the replay here. That was a great, desperate lunge from Ellis. Great move, and he tried to position the car to not let him get the switchback, but he couldn't. He sends it up the inside here. It looked like it was a clean move, but no, that's very similar to what Rexy did to the Vassar Sullivan. He actually, that's going to be a drive-through. That has to be a drive-through for the 27. He didn't even make the apex. They have to be consistent, IMSA. You have to be consistent on that. That will be a drive-through for Harder Racing, which means that will most likely give the win to Russell Racing. And the championship has been blown wide open with this. Oh my God, the moment of the race. This is the moment of the season for these two in the championship fight. My God. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if there will be a drive-through for them. If IMSA doesn't, I now understand why Dragon Speed is leaving, because there's an inconsistency with the rules. If they don't give them a drive-through that's just wrong. Because AO literally did the exact same thing. So, okay, they actually just let him by. No drive-through, but they let him by. So there is an inconsistency of the rules. I don't like that. I don't like that. He let him by, but he still might get a drive. I don't know. IMSA, IMSA, that was the exact same thing that Harry King did, and you gave him a drive-through for that, for a battle that didn't matter. This was a battle for the win. Now, I understand you might not want to ruin that battle, but at the same time, I don't know. This is a weird one. And also, actually, we fully missed this, by the way. Russell, oh yeah, no, that was into the double left-hander. He just sent him up the inside and let him by, and there will be a drive-through, finally. So he will get a drive-through. Gamble gets a drive-through, and Russell Ward will be your winner in GTD. Wow. That is consistent. I'm happy that IMSA's being consistent. And there absolutely is time for a drive-through. There's 3.5 minutes. They got time. They have plenty of time. They have at least 2 laps. But, wow, that is, Yeah, Gamble did lift off to let him by, but that's clearly not enough. The Harder Racing team is just absolutely devastated. Will he go into the pit lane? He does. And now it's done. So that will put Nick Foley up in the second. Will that put Costa in the 34 up into the top 3? I think it will. I think that actually will put him around where Denny Formal is for that drive-through. Which, again, wow. No, there was a penalty. There was a penalty for that. I was about to say, if they didn't give a penalty, I would have been gobsmacked. That would have been so bad from IMSA if they didn't do it. But they did. And yes, so they're going to get passed by Inception in the 34 and the 70. Wow. So they will go ahead of Denny Formal, and they will end up in 5th. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that Philip Ellis and Winward, they're going to win 3 in a row. Mosport, Road America, VIR. That is massive. And they'll also take the lead in the championship. As a lead, yep, they're now ahead by 36. So Barrack Hill in the 27, 44-point advantage now. So now, that's unreal. So now the 96 Turner car moves up in the second in the championship, and Heart of Racing has gone from the lead of this championship down into 3rd. Oh my God. That was the moment of the race. And it's wow. And it had to get oh, dude. 110% driver decision, though. Is it really luck? Oh, I wasn't talking about, user. I was talking about, Ray Hall. I wasn't talking about the Mustangs with the driver luck. Yeah, it was totally, if you're talking about the Aston Martin, absolutely. That was his choice to go for that move. Absolutely. I'm not talking about that. I was talking about the luck with the Fords. Because for me to get up into that P3, that is lucky. Because, of course, it had to do with Ray Hall having the unluckiness with strategy. But that's it. So now, whoa. Okay. So now, with the championship fight, Mies now moves up to 24. Rexy's now out of the championship fight as it stands with them finishing last. Costa is into the pits. Oh, they might have not gotten the fuel right as well. So, this is nice for Heart of Racing. They'll gain another position. They'll move up in the 4th, so they'll gain a little bit more points. So it won't be a 46-point swing. Wow. So they get a little bit, they get a little bit lucky with that one to stop the bleeding just a little bit. But, Philip Ellis, a.k.a. Russell Ward. Yeah, I don't know why I'm calling Philip Ellis Russell Ward today. I hope when I was saying in the contest, I was not saying Ward, I swear to God, because that's so bad. But Philip Ellis, he did the right thing. He went for a great move. And the white flag has officially come out. Yeah, that is as brutal as it gets. For Gamble. But man, oh man, Pfaff Motorsports, they won't be here racing next year. There might not even be a Lamborghini Temerario. And that's going to be a damn shame because clearly this car has become a damn good racing car in the last few months. It won in DTM in Europe. Of course, that race got it taken away. They won last time out at Road America. And this is looking really good for a win here for Pfaff. From whites to flag, they led almost, they didn't lead every lap. But, of course, Nick Tandy and AO, they ran a few laps. So last lap flag coming out for Ellis as well. Oh, my God. Yeah, this race has changed the championship pictures a lot in both GTD Pro and GTD. AO was looking to maybe come back into it. They're now down and dusted with this performance, having their worst finish of the year. We were seeing Russell Ward. I mean, they're back. Like they're going to go for 3 in a row. It's looking unreal. Pfaff Motorsports is now back into this title fight. I don't think they've ever had a chance for a title fight at all in their career. And if they can go out with a championship in their final year, that'll be a cherry on top. Out of the final corner they come. It has been a dominant performance from the Temerario, but the Canadian team with their Canadian colors are going to come across the line and get their second win of the year back-to-back in GTD Pro, and they win the Michelin GT Challenge at VIR. Barker in the 64 will come home in second. Great result for Mustangs. They finished second and third. Sorensen in Carte Blanche, they're going to get their best result in GTD Pro in fourth. Man, oh man. Connor DeFilippi will come home with a 5. That's about a best case scenario recovery drive for Paul Miller, given what had happened this weekend and also what had happened at Road America last time out. But man, oh man. Now, coming into the last few corners, what a contentious and chaotic race for Russell Ward. But he has absolutely done it. He's taking it a little bit easy. And out of the final corner, he wins at Road America. He wins at Mosport. And he's going to win 3 in a row for the Windward team. Philip Ellis wins in GTD. He gets a job for Windward. They go 3 in a row. And they are now the leaders in the championship. Trying to go 3 in a row for the GTD championship. Philip Ellis, man, that was a great overtake to get that move done. It sucks that he had to get forced out wide, and sure, he was able to get the position back, but it sucks that battle was ruined by drive-thrus. Nick Foley will come home in second. He was up in the second in the championship. Schrandorf in third in the 70 Inception car. Tom Gamble in fourth, which for a drive-thru, that's about his best-case scenario. Denny Formal, who also had a drive-thru, will come home in fifth, so sucks to see. We could have had a clean sweep of Lamborghini this weekend, but it just wasn't meant to be. Oh, man. Yeah, a bunch of these teams. 57 should get a beer. I should get a beer. I might get a beer myself. Chat. Wow. That was something. Oh, that's not what I wanted to press. Wait, there. Mr. Webcam. Here we go. That's what I want to bring up into the state of the show. I'm just going to bring it up all the way up in front. But man, oh man, chat. Huh. That was a good ending. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with the ending. I wish Mosport was like that, because Mosport was very similar to this race in the sense of it was just green flag running. That's the cleanest race that we've had on pure green flags. For points wise, with everything finished, of course stuff has to go through. But the GTD Pro Championship for Hagen is still in the lead. Kasberg and Miller are now in fourth, or now in second, 23 points back. Calderetti and Mitchell are now in the top 3, 56 point back, so definitely a little outside of the championship hunt, but they're still there. And then for our guys in GTD, it's Ellis and Windward are now in the lead. Nick Foley and Patrick Gallagher in the 96 car now move up into second in class, 36 points behind. So watch out for them at Indianapolis. They are still within a chance to maybe take the lead. If Windward doesn't have a good weekend, watch out for the Turner Motorsports crew. They can still take advantage. The 27 is all the way back, 76 points back down. So that's what it's kind of looking like for the top 3 right now. But it's actually a bit of a 2-horse race up in GTD. In GTD Pro, it's a 3-horse race. But instead of the AO car, we got a new one in, and it's the FAF Motorsports crew. We'll have to see exactly when that will happen next time out at Indianapolis. But that's it here for racing. Man, oh man. I know, like we said, it wasn't the biggest amount of people here for the race, but we had a pretty active chat regardless. I love that all of you guys were able to stay around. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been an absolute pleasure. I'll also try to make sure that this will, well, for Lone Star Le Mans, that's the next race that's happening. That's happening September 6th, 7th, and 8th, so that's in 2 weeks. That race will be interesting to see about if I will be having guests on the show. We might be having a Dragon Speed employee on the show, so it'll be really interesting and fun to talk to him later on. We're going to try to get some other guests throughout that race because it's a 6-hour race. We're going to be there for a while. So yeah, we will see exactly how that goes in the future. But when we come back for another IMSA race at Indianapolis, most likely it will be Jonah and I back. It won't just be me. But I appreciate y'all sticking around with me for this one. It's been an absolute banger. Check out Instagram soon. I'll be trying to get some. I'll post a reel of the battle with the Aston and the Mercedes, and also probably show the battle, show the first lap crash as well. Yeah, it has been incredible to watch and do stuff. And yeah, it was absolutely great to see you guys around here. It's been a pleasure. I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks' time for Lone Star Le Mans. My name is Nicholas Poitras. Welcome to the FJ Endurance channel, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.